Once again to Oakland High School, live on WIJV FM 92.7. We're also getting ready to join our audio stream on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. It's time for the second day and the second game of the second day of the state baseball tournament. The Wildcats in the earlier game played the Bradley Central Bears and won 8-3 was the final score. The Wildcats winning their first state tournament ball game since 1972. Congratulations to the Wildcats. That had been a long time coming. But a good win by the Wildcats, 8-3 over the Bradley Bears. And we turn our attention now to the Arlington Tigers, who were just now defeated by Nolensville 3-2. Arlington, one of the favorites in this tournament, along with Nolensville and Farragut. But the Wildcats want to have something to say about that. The winner of this game moves on to play Nolensville once again, and the loser ends their season here. Let me run down the starting lineups while I have an opportunity. Parker Peeler will be the leadoff man for Arlington. He'll play second base. The second hitter will be the shortstop, Jack Hibbard. Batting third will be the catcher, Jack Pitts. Batting fourth will be the third baseman, Carter McKay. Batting fifth will be the first baseman, Britt Fowler. Batting sixth will be the center fielder, Slade Williams. Batting seventh will be the right fielder, Peyton Goolsby. The eighth hitter will be the designated hitter, Braden Register. He'll be hitting for the pitcher, Eli DeBerry. And the number 9 hitter for them will be the left fielder, Harrison Polina. Now for the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats, leading things off. And playing shortstop will be Caden Black. Batting second will be Cam Welch. He'll be playing first base for the Wildcats. Mikey Teasley will be at third. He'll hit third. Batting fourth will be the catcher, Peyton Witter. Peyton Witter. And Parker Free will bat fifth. Richie Ferreira will bat sixth. He'll play right field. Cy Stevens is in left field for the Wildcats. And Alex Franklin will be the pitcher today. He'll hit eighth. I'm having trouble. It's been a lot of baseball games. And Kai Welch will be the guy that the designated hitter, Peyton Witter, is hitting for. Earlier today, as I mentioned, the Wildcats knocked off Bradley Central, eliminating them. The Wildcats winning it 8-3. Some of the totals in the ball game. Caden Black was on base 3 times, a single, 2 walks, scored a couple runs, stole a couple bases for the Wildcats. Mikey Teasley had an outstanding ball game. Mikey knocked in 4 runs. He had a 3-run home run. He was hit by a pitch. He also had a single. He stole a base and scored 3 runs for the Wildcats. Peyton Witter had a stolen base, a walk, and 2 walks actually, and a double. Cam Britton scored a run for the Wildcats as he was running for Peyton. Other contributors, Richie Ferreira had a single and an RBI, another single, and scored a run. Alex Franklin had a single as well. The winning pitcher in the ballgame was Mikey Teasley. He pitched 6 strong innings before giving way to Tri Sharp, who closed out the deal with a very effective 7th inning. And the Wildcats win the ballgame 8-3, and as I mentioned, it's the first time since all the way back to 1972 that the Wildcats have won a tournament ballgame. Sean Knowles is going to be doing our technical work. We've got overcast skies. They're starting this game early because they're afraid there might be a chance for rain. And hopefully that'll not be the case, but that's the forecast, and it is threatening and it is dark. We have moved our broadcast facilities. We're still probably in the path of wet, but not nearly as badly as we were in the first ball game, which we were on top of the bleachers here above us. We're down below where we were in the second game. We're videotaping the ball game. The TSSAA does not allow live streaming of video, but we are on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. There's a scoreboard up. You can follow it, plus the audio should be in the background as well. We're also on FM 92.7, FM 94.7. We're on Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 1086. And a little bit later on, I think we'll be on 1082, which used to be the old Channel 12. Not exactly sure about that. As we're about to get set here from Oakland High School, the starting lineups have been introduced. The Wildcats and Arlington Tigers will take the field. The Wildcats have played Arlington a couple times in other sports that I remember. I know In 2014, the Wildcats played Arlington at the state basketball tournament, winning that ball game. It was a semifinal round game, which sent them to the state championship game against the Blackman Blaze. And the Wildcats have also played Arlington in girls basketball at East Hamilton High School, I remember, in a tournament. We're waiting for something. I don't know if they're going to do the starting lineups. They want to get this game underway and going just in case we have to deal with that rain. We are on FM 92.7. My name is David Clary along with Vashawn Knowles. We'll take a quick break. It's Oak Ridge in Arlington at the state baseball tournament. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Welcome back once again to Oakland High School, the state baseball tournament here on FM 92.7 WIJV. We're getting ready to get the stream going for you on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio, as Alex Franklin warms up for the Wildcats. Alex, last start was against Sevier County in the sectional. He went a couple of innings and gave way to Peyton Witter in that ball game, and he'll get the start as a senior for the Wildcats. To get to the third game, you start running out of pitching, but the Wildcats have some good depth at pitching. They still have Alex to pitch. They still have Peyton Witter. Cy could pitch. Noah could pitch. There's a lot of different arms that the Wildcats could use as we are about set here. Leading things off for Arlington Tigers, Parker Peeler. He is the second baseman. I saw this team take Nolensville right to the end with Nolensville winning 3-2. This team, along with Nolensville and Farragut, one of the three favorites, according to the sports media, to win this tournament. As that pitch is down low ball, and we are underway. Here's the pitch to the plate, hit in the air to center field. Warren East back on it. Should make the play, and he does for out number one. One thing that's interesting, and Coach Free said this to me after the first ball game that the Wildcats won 8-3, that no balls were hit to the Oak Ridge outfield the entire ball game. I looked back at my records, and he was exactly right. And that's the first out recorded. The batter now is Jack Hibbard. Jack is playing shortstop for the Arlington Tigers. Alex Franklin has the sign. The pitch is hit to center field again. Warren East once again is there for out number two. So about three pitches, and we've got two outs here in the first inning. The ball's hit right on the button by the Tigers, but out. Now the catcher, Jack Pitts, is the batter. Pitts steps in. Alex Franklin on the mound for the Wildcats. Camden Welch is the first baseman. Kyron Welch is at second. Caden Black at short. Mikey Teasley at third. Pitch hit in the air, foul. Coming back over the top of the press box. We've had to move our location from our start of the first ball game because of weather, impending weather. One strike the count on Pitts. The pitch, breaking pitch on the inside corner for a called strike. And the count is 0-2 on the number 3 hitter from Arlington, which is a city around the Memphis area. Alex back on the hill, has a 2-strike pitch coming. It's outside and low, and the count is 1-2. We're on FM 92.7. We appreciate the guys at the radio station for letting us go. We've gone 10 straight months of sports. As Alex's pitch is hit foul over to the Arlington dugout. They are in the home dugout, but Oak Ridge is the home team in the visitors dugout today. I don't guess it really matters. The first time the Wildcats have been on that side of the field, but they are the home team. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Alex Franklin to the plate. That's just a bit high. Just above the belt, not by much. Oak Ridge fans thought that was strike 3. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody aboard for the Tigers. As Arlington bats here in the top of the first inning. Franklin comes to the plate. That's low and outside. And the count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, if you just tuned in, the Wildcats won 8-3 earlier against Bradley Central. First win in 52 years. Pitch is hit well to left field. Over is Warren East, and Warren makes a great play. Warren East made all 3 outs. Just a phenomenal catch in left center field. He dove for it and made a catch right above his shoe tops, and the Wildcats retire the Arlington Tigers in order. 1, 2, 3 goes Arlington. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. 0-0 our score. We are live at the state tournament at Oakland High School in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and the Wildcats coming to back. It'll be Caden Black, Cam Welch, and Mikey Teasley, and we'll be back in 90 seconds. Welcome back once again to Oakland High School, the state baseball tournament. Caden Black leads things off for Oak Ridge as he steps in, batting from the left side, reached base 3 times in the first game today. Pitcher is Eli DeBerry. He's a big right-handed pitcher facing Caden Black, left-handed hitter, batting from the left side. 1 strike the count on him. DeBerry probably is a good 250 easy as he blows a fastball down low. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. He is a big boy. I mean, he throws hard. Bleach blonde hair like all these other teams that we've seen today. Pitch, cut on and foul tipped into the mitt, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. He throws hard. He's probably as big as any of our linemen on the Oak Ridge football team. Got big, thick legs. He's just a big kid. 1-2 pitch. Hit foul off the end of the bat. And the count remains on Caden Black at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Once again, we have some internet issues here. Hopefully it'll get better. It was good last night, but tonight not quite as good. 1-2 pitch. Hit in the air, left side. Left fielder calls for it, under it, makes the one-handed grab, and Caden Black is out number 1 here in the first inning. And the batter now will be Cam Welch. Cam was the starting pitcher yesterday in the game against Nolensville. Failed to pick up a base hit in the first ball game. He steps in, sophomore does. In the batter's box he goes, and with 1 out, nobody aboard, Welch bats against DeBerry. The pitch, called a strike right down the middle, and the count is 0-1. DeBerry having trouble keeping his hat on. He's got a lot of bushy hair, very similar to our friend Vashon doing our camera work. 1 strike the count. Here's the pitch to Cam. Inside corner, called strike 2. Just throwing fastballs. He's not trying to be fancy. He's just bringing the heat. As Cam Welch steps back in, Mikey Teasley's on deck. He had 4 RBIs in the first ball game. Here comes the 2-strike pitch. Once again, hit foul off to the left side, getting around on it a little bit late. It's back-to-back games for the Tigers. They lost to Nolensville 3-2 right before this. The Wildcats played the early game and knocked off Bradley Central 8-3 was the final score. Mikey Teasley was the winning pitcher for Oak Ridge. DeBerry comes to the plate. The pitch, that's outside. And off the hat goes once again. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's nothing fancy about this guy. He just gets up there and he throws it hard. Looks in for the sign. And the 1-2 pitch to Cam Welch. Cut on and missed. That is a swinging strikeout, and that is out number 2 here in the bottom half of the first inning. And indeed, here comes the third baseman, Mikey Teasley. Mikey will be followed by Peyton Witter, but as I mentioned, there are 2 outs. Mikey had a 3-run home run in the win over Bradley earlier today, knocked in 4 total, and won the game on the mound. First win for an Oak Ridge team in 52 years. There's a breaking pitch, and the first one that he throws is out of the strike zone, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch to Mikey. That's up high with a pitch, just above the belt, maybe a little outside as well. And the count is 2 balls and no strikes. We have very few clean innings in the first ball game where the pitchers got them 1, 2, 3. Alex Franklin did that in the first inning of this game, and DeBerry trying to do the same in the bottom half of the first. 2-0 pitch. Fouled back to the screen, and the count is 2-1. Got a lot of Oak Ridge fans here. Not quite as many as we had in game number 1. I see Dean and Tina Williams in attendance here. Of course, Logan Williams is an assistant coach at Bradley, and so they stayed to watch their alma mater. 2-1 pitch, breaking pitch in there for a called strike. A little different. Fastballs to the first two guys, some breaking pitches to Mikey Teasley. And we got a 2-2 count on him. Wind blowing hard out from right to left. Sophomore steps in, the 2-2 pitch. Bounced about 5 feet in front of the plate, so it's ball 3. Mikey's a sophomore. He'll be followed by Peyton Witter. Wildcats, a youthful lineup today. Looking at the senior starters, Caden Black is a senior, Kyron Welch, and Alex Franklin. Those are the only 3 seniors in the starting lineup today. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Outside corner called strike 3. It was probably a little outside, but too close to take, and that ends the first inning. We go to the second inning as we are broadcasting live from Murfreesboro Oakland High School in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. The Wildcats and Arlington Tigers are scoreless. And we go to the top of the second inning. The Wildcats and Tigers scoreless. We'll be back to Murfreesboro in 90 seconds. Carter McKay leads things off for Arlington here in the second inning at the state tournament. Alex Franklin's first pitch is a called strike. Carter McKay is the third baseman for the Tigers. Left-handed hitter against the right-handed throwing senior. The pitch hit well to center field again. This might be a ball game where Warren East makes all the plays. 4 outs, all to Warren East out in center field. And that is out number 1 here in the second inning. And the batter will be the first baseman, Brett Fowler. Fowler steps in. He bats from the right side. 4 no balls in the first game were even hit to the outfield, period. And in this game, 4 outs recorded by Warren East, the center fielder for the Wildcats. Pitch to the plate, a little inside, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. We had to move our location. We're a little bit lower than we were. We're a little bit more undercover, but the best part of it is they're cooking hamburgers directly behind us. We had a really good meal. There's a called strike. We had a really good meal at Slick Pig, one of the better barbecue places, one of the best ones probably here in Murfreesboro. I learned that from James Branson when he was going to school here, and I've been many times since. Breaking pitch outside, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. To the number 5 hitter, first baseman Brett Fowler. Fowler will be followed by Slade Williams. Arlington is out of the Memphis area. Like I said, we played him in basketball one year, the state tournament, right in this very city. I think we played him in Chattanooga, or actually Ooltewah, at East Hamilton High School in basketball. 3 balls and 1 strike, right-handed hitter. Alex Franklin has retired the first 4 he's faced. That pitch is hit on the infield, foul territory. Camden Welch has it, and that is out number 2. A really good start for Alex Franklin, 5 up and 5 down. And the batter will be the center fielder, Slade Williams. Tigers wearing predominantly white jerseys with a little black numerals with a little gold tint around them. White jerseys, white baseball pants. The Wildcats still wearing their grays and cardinal numerals, gray pants and jersey. Ball is hit in the air once again. This time coming off to the right side and out of play. This game was originally supposed to start at 6 o'clock Eastern time, but because of the forecast, they went ahead and started. And I see somebody with an umbrella off to the right. I don't know if it's raining yet. As Alex comes in, hit on the ground, foul. Down the third base side. Good effort there by Mikey Teasley, but it was well foul. And the count is now 0-2. So Mikey Teasley won the first ball game on the mound. Alex Franklin has retired the first 5 he's faced here in this second ball game. The winner to face Nolensville tomorrow. Pitch comes in, hits him in the square of the back, and down the first will go Slade Williams. And Peyton Goolsby will be the batter now. He bats from the left side. He is the right fielder for the Arlington Tigers. I remember Lucas Forstrom said, "We've got a cat fight." I remember that very well when Oak Ridge played Arlington at the semifinals of the state basketball tournament many years ago. Left-handed batter First base runner for either team. We're in the bottom of the top of the second inning. 0-0 the score. Goolsby the batter. Alex working from the stretch, and the first pitch is high and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. We have a bad internet connection once again. We're on FM 92.7, FM 94.7. We're also streaming the audio on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio, with a scoreboard where you can kind of follow as that pitch stays up high from Alex. And the count is 2-0. Got a chance to talk to Alex after the win today over Bradley. Won by the Wildcats 8-3. Williams takes his lead off of first. Goolsby back in. Franklin comes to the plate. Cut on a miss. Good fastball at the letters. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 on, 2 outs. Scoreless ball game. Elimination ball game here from Oakland High School, the state baseball tournament. Parker free with the sign. The pitch. The ball. Here's a quick throw, and he is safe. Good look by Parker to throw down the first, and just barely missed getting the runner who had taken a pretty good size lead off of the bag at first. 3 balls, 1 strike. Alex Franklin doesn't want to give up a walk here. Puts a runner in scoring position. This is a very potent team out of the West Tennessee area. That pitch is a ball, and that is ball 4. So after retiring the first 5 batters that he faced, he has walked a man, he's hit a man, and the batter now will be the designated hitter, the number 8 hitter, Braden Register. He's hitting for the pitcher, Eli DeBerry. Runners at first and second for the Tigers. Alex Franklin has the sign from the catcher, Parker Free. And the first pitch. Low, good stop by Parker. The outfield consists of Cy Stevens in left. The center fielder is Warren East. The right fielder is Richie Ferreira. I mentioned the Oak Ridge infield earlier. 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch. Hit well and deep. Left field. Cy Stevens looks up, and this ball is off the base of the wall. 1 run is in. 2 runs will score. It's going to be a 2-run double by Braden Register. And Arlington leads Oak Ridge by a score of 2-0. In the score comes Williams and Peyton Goolsby, and it's 2-0 Arlington. So after retiring the first 5 batters he faced, he hit a batter, walked a batter, and then a long ball. And they're lucky it isn't 3-0 right now because that ball was hit very well, hit at the base of the fence. And they've got another runner in scoring position. There's a called strike on the outside half of the plate. And the count is 0-1. Runner at second base, 2-0. Arlington Tigers over the Wildcats. Pitch, breaking pitch, inside corner. Nice pitch. Alex Franklin in there for a called strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 in. Runner at second base, no balls, 2 strikes. Pitch, that's up high. And the count is 2-1. Brian Bennett's back at the studios. This is our 10th straight month of broadcasting Oak Ridge sports. It started with football back in August. Pitch is outside. He wanted to take a swing at it, just couldn't do it. And the count is 3 balls. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Scoreboard is just wrong. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And a timeout is asked for. 2-0 Arlington. Lee Wexler has joined us here. Got off work. Yeah, Dyron Birdwell just texted me and said, not the first time that Oak Ridge has played Arlington. Yeah, we played them in the semis. The year we went to the state championship game, ball hit on the ground. Shortstop side, Caden Black-Fields throws on the first in time for out number 3. But Arlington scores 2 times. The big hit, the 2-run double by Peyton Goolsby, and we go to the bottom half of the second inning. The Wildcats trailing Arlington 2-0, and we'll be back following this timeout here on WIJV. We'll be back in a moment. Trouble is, we figured out what the audio issue was. Yeah, and problem is the output on the mixer. So I'm having to use this. So I'll have to, if you talk, I'll have to. David Clary back here, along with Lee Wexler, Vashawn Knowles. Behind us, we got Joe Gaddis and Mike Kelly. Lee, good to see you. The Wildcats won the first game today, Lee, 8-3 over Bradley Central. Arlington, Nolensville, Farragut, some of the three favorites in this tournament. Saw Nolensville beat this Arlington team 3-2 right before us. They're good. They've got a really talented group, and they've got a good tradition of high school baseball as Peyton Witter leads things off here in the second inning. The Wildcats down 2-0. Pitch. Breaking pitch almost hits him.
Yeah, I tried keeping up with the game on my phone during work today, which I'm sure my bosses probably didn't like. But, yeah, I saw it looked like a good outing from Oak Ridge, a home run from Mikey.
Yeah, 3-run shot. They say he swung, and the count is 1-1 strike. Crowd not quite as big as it was in the first game. Of course, I don't know what's up top. We had a good crowd in the Bradley ball game. Here's the pitch. That's a breaking pitch. He said he hit the corner, maybe barely. Count is 1-2 strikes. DeBerry is the pitcher for the Tigers. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball hit in the air, foul off to the right side. We've had a little audio problem. We have internet issues for sure in this one, just because I guess maybe there's rain and storms around, but we've had it really basically the entire day. 1-2 pitch, down low a ball, and evens the count at 2-2 strikes.
I don't know if you guys have touched on this. I believe the pitcher I have in my notes is committed to Memphis, a senior committed to Memphis, Eli DeBerry.
He's a big guy, as I mentioned. He's 250 easy, maybe more. 2-2 pitch to Peyton Witter. Swings at a pitch outside of the strike zone, and that is a strikeout swinging, and that is the first out here in the second. And the batter now will be Parker Free. Parker didn't get on base in the first game. Played well behind the plate in a well-pitched game by Mikey Teasley and Trice Sharp. Trice got the save. Trice looked really good in the ninth inning, just mowed down Bradley. And the ball comes right back at us. And the count is 1-0 strikes. Baseball is a funny game. You know, Trice gave up a couple runs last night. Today he was just spot on. He looked good. 1-0 strikes. DeBerry comes to the plate. Hit well, but not well enough. Right to the second baseman. When he first hit it, I thought it was going to get over the second baseman's head. He was playing back in the grass. I thought it would get over his head, but that is out number 2.
I thought Parker hit that well, but it ended up being right off the end of the bat, and their second baseman, Parker Peeler, was right there for us. So 2 down for Richie Ferreira. How's Richie done today, David?
Richie's done really well. Had a couple of base hits. Was on base. Scored a couple runs, and he's on base again, but not the way he probably wants to be, as he is hit by the pitch, and that is the base runner for the Wildcats. And the batter now will be Cy Stevens. Cy steps in. Cy struggled a little bit offensively in the first ball game. He'll bat from the right side. Very capable. Has good power as he steps in, representing the tying run. We're on FM 92.7. We're also streaming the audio on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio, plus the scoreboard is up on the screen, something we've had to do since the TSSAA does not allow video streaming. Technically, that is video, I guess, but not of the game. Cy steps in. Runner at first, Richie Ferreira. Pitch to Cy. They say he swung. That's not a good call. He did not swing. and he didn't even ask for help, but it's a called strike, and the count is no balls and one strike. I don't usually get on the umpire, but he did not swing on that one. No balls, one strike. Pitch, breaking pitch outside, and the count is 1-1.
Cy definitely did not swing at that. I thought it looked maybe close to a called strike, but again, that was off the plate, so not a good call. Since I got here, not a good call.
1 ball, 1 strike. Runner at first. Not going. The pitch is hit foul off the screen, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs, runner aboard for the Wildcats. Richie Ferreira hit by a pitch. 2-0. Arlington leads on a double off the base of the wall, scoring 2. Alex Franklin had retired the first 5 that he had faced. Cy Stevens calls timeout, granted by the umpire. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Arlington trying to avoid elimination. Oak Ridge trying to avoid elimination. Whoever wins moves on. The loser ends their season. 1-2 pitch, hit well to left field, but not well enough. It's pretty deep, but it's going to be the left fielder making the one-handed grab, and that is out number 3. Wildcats pick up a base runner. They leave him stranded. We go to the top of the 3rd inning. We are live at Oakland High School on FM 92.7, FM 94.7. We're also on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. We'll be back in 90 seconds. Welcome back once again to Oakland High School. Darkening skies here as we go to the 3rd inning. Arlington leads Oak Ridge 2-0. Alex Franklin on the mound. And leading things off for them, I believe, will be the top of the order.
Looks like Parker Peeler and flew out to center field to lead off the game.
Right-handed hitter against the right-handed throwing Franklin. The pitch, that's down low, a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. Nobody out, nobody aboard for the Tigers as we play in the 3rd inning of the state tournament. Alex comes to the plate. There's a called strike on the outside half of the plate. In the first ball game, the home plate umpire had a very, very narrow strike zone for both pitchers. It was consistent. That pitch is way outside, and the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. I mean, it was narrow. I mean, there was nothing on the corners were called in that game. Both pitchers had to adapt to it. That pitch is hit on the ground. 1 hop. Mikey Teasley, he's going to have to make a bare hand play, and he doesn't come up with it, and that'll be an infield single for the Arlington Tigers. The ball just wasn't hit that hard, and Mikey, the only chance he had really was to barehand it, just couldn't pick it up.
No, that ball was placed well by Peeler, just this kind of swing and bunt off the end of the bat. And for Mikey, the only play he had was to barehand it and make a perfect throw. Even still, even if he does barehand it and make a good throw, I'm not sure that he gets Peeler out at first. This is Jack Hubbard, the 2-hole.
One thing that's kind of interesting, Lee, I know you didn't hear this, but in the first ball game, when Mikey was pitching, there was not a single out recorded in the outfield. In the first 3 batters of this game, all 3 were recorded by Warren East out in center field. And that pitch is a called strike. Yeah, the first 4 recorded by Warren, and which just baseball just depends on the movement on the pitcher. Mikey had a lot going for him. Pitched really well, 6 strong innings in the win as the pitch comes in a little bit high. Good frame there by Parker, but the umpire didn't see it that way, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Sean's with us, been with us. Wade at Slick Pig today. Have you reading at Slick Pig, Lee?
I probably have. I feel like it's close to Middle Tennessee's campus, so yeah, I probably have.
1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch, foul tipped, and the count is 1-2. Just made eye contact with Parker as that ball tipped off of him. You know, you're a catcher, and you just get abused. The ball comes fouling back, hits you in the mask, hits you all over. Parker's got to be tired. This is his 2nd ball game today. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He was up early, too. The pitch is way outside. It bounces away from Parker, and no chance to throw him out. They've got a runner at second now with nobody out. And Parker was up early. I went and got breakfast in the hotel fairly early, and Parker was already up. As it's got a 2-2 count on the number 2 hitter in the Arlington lineup. They lead already 2-0. Alex trying to work out of some trouble as the pitch comes in. The ball ripped foul to the left side, and the count is 2-2 still.
The backswing off of Hubbard squared Parker free right up in the helmet. And Parker probably should call time and take a second, but okay, I guess not.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Alex Franklin, senior, right-hander. Pitched against Sevier County in the sectional. The pitch, bounce to the plate. Good block there by Parker. Wildcats trail it 2-0. Dark skies here at Murfreesboro, Oakland. Beautiful day yesterday, but not the case today. Looks like some major rain moving in. 3-2 pitch. Here it comes. Hit in the air, right side, foul territory. Camden Welch makes the catch and runs the ball back into the infield, and that is out number 1. So pop out in foul territory to the first baseman, and there's 1 out.
This is the catcher, Jack Pitts, who flew out to center field, his first at bat.
I tell you, Warren made one of the better, most spectacular plays of the season in the first inning. Just an incredible play. And that breaking pitch floats in there for called strike 1. It was the 3rd out against this guy. I mean, the ball was hit well. He caught it in left center field, just a diving effort, just a beautiful play by Warren East. 1 strike the count, the pitch, a little low and inside, and we've got a 1-1 count. Cicadas are still all around. You have a lot of them. There's more cicadas in Murfreesboro than in Oak Ridge for sure. 1-1 pitch, ripped to the corner. That's a base hit. It'll score a run. Ball all the way down the left field line. Cy Stevens comes up with it, and it is a 1-out double, and he ripped the ball much like he did in his first plate appearance, but Warren makes the play. Nobody was going to catch that one. It went right down the left field line, and the Wildcats trail now 3-0 to the Arlington Tigers. Arlington seems to be one of those teams, Lee, that seems to be at the state tournament year in and year out.
Yeah, they are. We're going to get a mound visit, and we're going to get a pitching change from Coach Free. But, yeah, I think my notes, the last time Arlington was in the state was 2019. And they play in a juggernaut for a district with Collierville, Houston, all those teams out there in Memphis. And so, yeah, I mean, all those Memphis teams play pretty good baseball. As Alex Franklin's getting an applause from the crowd. We're going to get a new guy in here, David. I can't tell who that is.
Looks like it's going to be Peyton Witter coming into the ball game to pitch. We saw him do the same thing against Sevier County. Alex pitched, I think, the first 2 innings of that ball game. Then Peyton came in and just shut down the Smoky Bears, and the Wildcats went on to advance to the state tournament, and he indeed will be taking over. Wildcats won the first game. Mikey Teasley with 4 RBIs in the ball game, including a 3-run home run. He also was the winning pitcher in the ball game. The Wildcats took the lead, and then I think it was 2-2 when Mikey hit the 3-run home run, and after that Bradley really didn't do much. The Wildcats just kept building on their lead, and the Wildcats won their first tournament game at the state tournament since 1972. And which was cool, if you just are tuning in for our first ball game, 2 of the members of that 72 team were in attendance today, some 52 years ago. I was doing the math. If they were seniors, they were not. They would be 70 years old at this point. But I think they were both sophomores on that team, so they're still maybe pushing 70, but not quite there. I won't go over their names, Gary Johns and Jeff Henderson, but they were here in attendance for game number 1. They might be upstairs for game number 2. Peyton Witter warming up. He's a left-handed thrower. The Wildcats trail it now 3-0. Still a lot of baseball to be played, and you were telling me their pitcher is going to Memphis, and that's we've seen a lot of really, really talented players over the last several weeks. I mean, I think we have faced this season all 3 Mr. Baseball finalists in 4A, which is unbelievable. We've seen all 3 of them this year, and I don't know. DeBerry is, he's a hard-throwing senior headed to Memphis, as Lee said, and hopefully Peyton can keep them right where it is, 3-0. Still a lot of baseball to be played.
Yeah, a lot of baseball to be played. Oak Ridge down by 3 men on second, 1 out. And the batter will be Carter McKay, the third baseman, flew out to center field. His first at bat, the lefty steps in.
One thing that I wanted to say, if you look, and this is the eye test, and I'll talk about that maybe when the Wildcats are betting. If you look at the eye test of the 2 teams, Oak Ridge physically not nearly as big, but as we say in every ball game, they are so young with so many freshmen and sophomores playing. These guys from Arlington, they look like just studs. As the first pitch is cut on and missed, and the count is 0-1. I mean, they're all just built as they come in. They look like linebackers, all of them. They're all bigger at every position than are the Wildcats, and that's kind of the way Nolensville had a few smaller guys, but these guys are really, really jacked. Here's the one-strike pitch. There's strike two right at the belt, and Peyton comes in and fires the first two over the strike zone.
A good start for Peyton, and I want to give a shout-out to Vashon. Great in-tournament adjustments by getting the audio and sound figured out on the YouTube. So if you haven't, David, shout out Vashon.
And we also had a little help from Mark Hayes as well. But, yes, you're exactly right. Vashon did most of the work as that pitch is a strike. Here comes the throw, and he is out stealing third. Out stealing third, and it wasn't even close. That is out number two. Good job by Parker Free, and he nails the runner at third base trying to steal. And I don't know if he did it on his own, but the coach kind of glaring at him a bit. But he was out by a lot.
He was. Throw beat him, dove right into the tag, and with a lefty stealing, Parker saw it all the way.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the pitch. Cut on a miss. Parker comes in and shuts down the Arlington Tigers. We go to the bottom half of the third inning. Wildcats have some work to do. They trail Arlington by a score of 3-0. We'll be back in 90 seconds. Welcome back once again to Oakland High School, the District 3 baseball tournament. Alex Franklin steps in, takes one down low, but it was a call to strike, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. 1 strike pitch, ball 1, outside and low. Alex had a single down the third base line back in the first ball game against Bradley. Started at second base for Oak Ridge. Trying to get things going here in the third. The pitch to him, hit to the right side and foul out of play. And Franklin behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lee says that DeBerry is headed to Memphis to play baseball. 1 ball, Memphis University, he wants me to point out. 1-2 pitch. That's a ball outside and low, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's not fancy. He just rears back and throws it.
No, and he's had good placement on his fastball, just kind of dotting that outside corner, low and away. I know the Oak Ridge fans didn't like the call, but great stuff from DeBerry from what I've seen.
2-2 pitch. Up in his eyes, and he swings it and pops it up to the shortstop, and that is out number 1 here in the third inning. That'll be now Warren East will be the batter. Warren steps in. Warren reached base. Warren just made an outstanding play. He made some great plays the other day in the sectional ball games. Threw a runner out at the plate from center field on a dead fly. Just a good freshman player for the Wildcats, and he swings and he misses at the first offering. The count is 0-1. Coach Free told me after the ball game in our post-game interview that regardless, and not thinking that we were going to lose this ball game, but regardless of what happens in this ball game, as this pitch comes in, it's a little bit outside and high. Regardless what happens in this game, win or lose, it's been a great experience, especially for the younger guys, to get a taste of what it's like to play in the state tournament. Hopefully many more consecutive times the Wildcats will make it. It's hard to do. Doesn't happen much. And as we said, the Wildcats had not been here since 1972. And you can see how we've had some pretty decent baseball teams in between that time. But with Farragut and Central, Hardin Valley, Baird, and all those teams around, it's hard. And they're going to reload at all those schools. But he just thought it's just a great way to get these guys acclimated to playing in a state tournament.
Yeah, I don't know what I agree with what you're saying. My comment on DeBerry, I mean, he's got to be throwing in the 90s. But, yeah, you're talking about the experience for these younger guys for Oak Ridge. And I was thinking earlier, that feeling of getting here, that's going to stick with a lot of these players. And going into next year and years down the road, that feeling of getting to the state tournament, that's going to stick with you. And just you're going to want to, fight, scratch, and claw to get back.
1-2 pitch, swung on a miss, and Warren is going to have to be thrown out, and that is out number 2. For DeBerry, that is strikeout, looks like number 4. for him. And here comes Caden Black. Caden flew out to left field his first time. He steps in with 2 outs and nobody aboard. Arlington out of the Memphis area leads 3-0 over the Wildcats here in the state tournament. We started the game early. If you're just tuning us in or wondering why we're playing, we're in the 3rd inning. Rain is forecast and they're trying to get this ball game in. Pitch is high and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. How was work today? I know you had to rush over.
It was fine. Normal work.
1-0 pitch, down low. 2 balls and no strikes. Caden will be followed by Cam Welch in the Oak Ridge lineup. Wind's not blowing right now. I'm not thinking the rain is imminent, but it is dark. Lights have been on really since the first ball game. 2-0 pitch, hit again, foul off to the left side and out of play. Caden Black is a senior, an all-state performer, 4-year starter for the Wildcats. Slick fielding shortstop, good leadoff man for the Wildcats. Had an injury earlier as the pitch to Black is a little outside.
Hey, good eye.
And the scoreboard says the count is 3-1. Cam Welch is on deck. He was a strikeout victim his first time. Keep looking at that flag. It looks like it's frozen in time. There's ball 4. And down to first will go Caden Black, and he is the second base runner of the ball game. One thing I found out between games is that how much trash talking Barrett Bradley was doing on the field to the Wildcats. I mean, some things I heard them say are just unbelievable. I guess, I don't know, we don't have really much of a rivalry with them anymore. We used to play them in football a lot. Used to be in our region, in fact, but I was told they were really trash talking. Alex said that in his interview, and then I found out from other people said they were honestly just kind of nasty talking to our guys, which, Coach Free, I'm very proud to say, he doesn't allow that with his guys. If anything like that happens, they're out of the game. I mean, they're coming out, and that's a great thing. But as Cam steps in, he takes one outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Trash talking, I mean, a little bit of friendly banter is one thing, but trash talking and cussing and things, they're just out of place.
I know most people who know you know that, David, no one values sportsmanship more than you do. I know people in Clinton would agree with that. No one values sportsmanship more than David.
1 ball, no strikes to count. Tough going right now for our friends over in the other side of the county. The high school, some things going on there. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs, runner at first. Caden taking a really big lead at first. He's going. Pitch is a strike. Here's a ball, that is, and it's a stolen base for Caden Black. So he's in scoring position. And the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Camden Welch, sophomore, hits from the left side. He'll be followed by another sophomore. That is Mikey Teasley. That's what I'm saying about win or lose this game or any other game in this tournament. These sophomores and freshmen are getting an eye full of what it takes to be a winner at the state tournament. 2 balls, no strikes. There's a strike on the inside half of the plate. Fastball. Camden took it, and the count is 2-1. 2 outs. Caden Black at second base. Wildcats would like to dent the scoreboard here. Get back in the ball game. The pitch almost hit him. Very inside pitch, and the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Wildcats have yet to pick up a base hit. Richie Ferrero was hit by a pitch. Caden Black was walked. Got a 3 ball, 1 strike count on who they affectionately call Cheeto on this Wildcat team. 3 balls and 1 strike. Pitch. Nope. Before that, he whirls and twirls and fakes back to second base, and Caden Black goes back to the bag. I guess the flag is stuck in the tree. It looks like it's just frozen out in center field. 375 to dead center field here at Oakland High School. 3 balls, 1 strike to Camden. He takes one on the inside corner at the knees, and the count is 3 balls and 2 strikes. I see Tina Williams up in the stands. Tina and Dean Williams in attendance here. Tina, former assistant athletic director at Oak Ridge, former Lady Wildcat basketballer. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Camden Welch. Black takes his lead. He's going to third. Ball ripped deep to right field. The right fielder looks up. It's off the wall. The Wildcats have scored one, and Cam Welch is heading towards third. 3-1 our score, and the ball bounces away. A one-run triple for Camden Welch, and the Wildcats are on the board.
That's the first hit of the ball game for Oak Ridge. I thought that ball was going to keep going, but of course the wind not really blowing out. Yesterday, David, that would have been a home run. Deep fence here at Oakland, 375. Great hit for Cam. That's a two-out. We'll score a triple, and that's exactly what Oak Ridge needed to get into the ball game because this Arlington pitcher, DeBerry, is really dealing. And so Oak Ridge really could use – they got to get all the runs they need, and especially right here with Mikey up, man on third, 2 outs.
Mikey had a 3-run home run in the first ball game. He swings and he misses at that first pitch. So the Wildcats have their first run of this ball game, trail it now 3-1. DeBerry with a 1-strike count on Mikey Teasley. Cam Welch at third, the pitch. On the inside corner that time, Mikey didn't like it. Steps way out of the batter's box. Looks over to Coach Parker Free. These umpires point to the batter's box when they step out for any length of time. No balls and 2 strikes. DeBerry trying to close out Mikey Teasley. Pitch is hit foul off to the right side and out of play. Oak Ridge coached by Travis Free, assisted by Jeremiah Ball, Will Maddox, Kevin McKeithen, Ben Peters, Jason Slay, along with Jeff Ulrich. 2 strikes the count on Mikey, sophomore, with his sophomore classmate at third. The 0-2 pitch. That's a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. DeBerry, he's got a lot of fluffy hair, and his hat has popped off several times. That ball by Cam was ripped.
It was. I thought he got underneath it there for a second. It just kind of kept traveling. 1-2 count here for Mikey. Big runner over there at third.
1-2 pitch. Hit in the air, right side, down the right field line. Long run for the right fielder. He makes the catch in foul territory for out number 3. But the Wildcats are on the board. They trail the Arlington Tigers as we go to the 4th inning. 3-1 our score. We're on WIJV FM 92.7. We'll be back in 90 seconds. Welcome back once again to Oakland High School, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Spring Fling 2024, the state baseball tournament. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge and the Arlington Tigers. It's 3-1 Arlington. And Peyton Witter will begin his first full inning of work on the mound for the Wildcats in a 3-1 ball game.
Looks like the hitter Brett Fowler, I think, if I can read your handwriting correctly.
That is the case. And the first pitch hits him. Lefty hits the righty. And good start for the Tigers as he was hit by a pitch. And who's up next for the Tigers?
Looks like Slade Williams, the center fielder. And I don't know what you wrote down here, so I don't know what he did his last at bat.
He was hit by a pitch. And he bats from the right side. Alex Franklin started on the mound for the Wildcats. Peyton came in relief. He has a runner at first. The pitch kind of slipped out of his hands, but it's a called strike. And the count is 0-1. Parker Free is the catcher for the Wildcats. He's a freshman. Sophomore first baseman Cam Welch holding the runner on. Takes a medium-sized lead off the bag at first. Nobody out. We're in the 4th inning. Peyton to the plate. Cut on and missed. Outside half of the plate, and the count is 0-2.
2 good pitches there to start off Slade Williams. Kind of a backdoor, coming into the strike zone late, off speed, and then a fastball placed well to the right-handed hitter.
0-2 pitch. Outside. Parker, a nice stop, and runner stays put at first. Not quite as loud as it was in the last 2 ball games. I have to tell you, Nolensville, I think everybody in Nolensville came today. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Cut on a miss. That is a strikeout swinging, and that is out number 1 here in the 4th inning with the Wildcats trailing 3-1. And next up,
Peyton Goolsby. It looks like he walked and scored a run.
he's a lefty versus the left-handed throwing Peyton Witter Jr. on the hill. The Wildcats' main stopper has been the case most of the year. And he squares to bunt, and he makes a stab at it, and that's a strike. One thing that Peyton told me in the preseason, he thought he was going to get a few more starts, but Oak Ridge's pitching staff, the starters, have not really given him any opportunities except in some non-district ball games. And he's primarily been used in relief, but I think he thought he'd be one of the starters. And right now, your top pitchers on this Oak Ridge team are all underclassmen, with the exception of Alex Franklin. He will be graduating, or has actually graduated on Friday, but he will not be on the team next year. And Peyton might be able to take his place, but he's been so good in relief for the Wildcats, it's kind of hard to take him out of that role.
Yeah, and I was just kind of thinking to myself here, Peyton Goolsby, the hitter, squared around a bunt, and I'm still yet to see anybody lay down a bunt. I don't know if anyone bunted in the first game, but this is kind of something that just kind of gets up my craw.
One strike pitch in there for called strike two. Breaking pitch on the inside half of the plate, and the count is 0-2. These guys are just built. I mean, you look at them, they have spent a lot of time in the weight room, these guys. They're big. Runner at first, one out, two-strike pitch from Peyton Witter. The hit in the air, left side, long run for Cy in foul territory, makes the one-handed grab for out number 2. Cy got a good jump on it and made the catch in foul territory. Two away here in the fourth inning.
Yeah, Cy kind of cheated over there a little bit. I thought that ball was going to land foul, and Cy ended up getting over to his right and making the catch. This is Braden Register, the DH.
I believe he's the number 8 hitter in their lineup, and he bats from the right side. What did he do the first time?
I don't even know.
Okay. Pitch is outside a ball. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs, runner at first, and a 3-1 ball game. Arlington on top of Oak Ridge. Right-handed hitter. 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch to the plate. Called a strike at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, when I'm trying to hold 2 mics, tweet, do books, it's tough. So now that you've got the book, I'm more than happy to let you do it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch. A little outside. And the count is 2-1. As I said, Arlington and Oak Ridge have played in basketball here in this town at the state tournament, the state semifinals for the men's team before Oak Ridge went on to play for the state championship against Blackman. Pitch is hit in the air right side. Richie Ferreira gets his first look of the day. Should make the catch, and he does for out number 3. So Peyton Witter hits a batter, but they strand the runner. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning at the state tournament at Oakland High School. The Wildcats trail Arlington 3-1. We'll be back in 90 seconds. Welcome back once again to Oakland High School, the state baseball tournament. Peyton Witter leads things off for the Wildcats. He was a strikeout victim his first time. DeBerry comes in with a fastball. It's up high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody on, nobody out. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. 3-1 Arlington leads Oak Ridge here at the state baseball tournament. Memphis Siney comes to the plate with a 1-1 pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a called strike. I don't know, looked pretty good. I don't know, the guys on the right side didn't like it, but I think it looked pretty good. And the count is 1-2. And you know me, I'm not going to give an umpire an inch, but it looked like a pretty good pitch. 1-2 pitch to Peyton. Hit in the air. Center field shallow. The shortstop, the second baseman, both back. It'll be the second baseman who makes the play for out number 1. Better now is Parker free. Parker was out on a soft line drive to second base. His first time. He's 0 for 1 in the ballgame. We're in the 4th inning. Wildcats have been out hit 3-1. They trail in the ballgame 3-1 as well. Pitch to Parker is a called strike on the outside corner. Low at the knees, and the count is 0-1. Appreciate WIJV and the management, Brian Bennett and the management there, for allowing us to broadcast these ball games. TSSAA does not allow us to stream live video. Parker swings at a pitch a little bit high, and the count is 0-2. We appreciate them allowing us to do it. Had never done baseball on WIJV before. We'd never really gotten this far, and we've done a few streams, but not the radio version. Ball is hit foul off the netting, and the count remains at 0-2. Of course, back in the day, when I was on the mighty 1290 WATO, we used to do a lot of baseball games, but WATO no longer exists. I sold my ownership in it. That's an inside joke between me and the athletic director. Pitch to Parker is down low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I don't know if she really believed it, but Coach Gaddis' mother believed I owned WATO. He's nodding his head. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I seem like I was there all the time, so 1-2 pitch. Cut on a miss. And that's a strikeout. And Parker is out number 2 here in the 4th inning. And the batter will be Richie Ferreira.
Yeah, DeBerry, from what I've seen since I got here in the 2nd inning, he's got a real good slider. Oak Ridge hitters, I think, have had some good discipline, kind of spitting on that slider as DeBerry is kind of throwing it low in the zone, kind of at the hitter's feet. This will be Richie Ferreira, who looked like was hit by a pitch his first at bat.
Nancy Wexler listening to our broadcast today. Appreciate that. First pitch is a ball to Richie. Richie's uncle in attendance here all the way from California to watch the junior play, and he's played well. Had, like I said, 2 hits and an RBI in the first game, and he rips another base hit to right field. Richie just is on the ball. I mean, Richie is a character for sure, but I can tell you, Richie can hit the baseball, and that's another base hit for him. That's 3 hits today.
Yeah, it is, and Richie, for me, has been kind of the standout player for me personally. You know, I've seen guys like Caden Black and Cam and Mikey Teasley, but for me, it's been Richie this year, just swinging the bat. I don't know what happened. I looked down, and I think they kind of threw behind Richie over there. I think he got into the base safely, but yesterday base running was an issue, and so this will be Cy Stevens, who looks like flew out to left field his last at bat.
One thing that Richie does when he gets on base, he takes really wide swings at first, and that's hurt him before. As Cy Stevens steps in, and he swings and he misses. So a base hit for Richie. He's been on base twice, hit by a pitch. Cy flew out to left field his first time. He takes a breaking pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to him. Richie's got okay speed. He's the base runner at first. He has had some issues getting picked off, so he's got to be careful as he takes his lead off the bag. Cy Stevens with good power. Batting for the Wildcats with a 1-1 count on him. And the pitch from DeBerry is a strike at the belt. Couldn't pull the trigger, and the count is 1-2. Alex Franklin is on deck for Oak Ridge. There are 2 outs. The Wildcats have a base runner at first base in Richie Ferreira. 3-1 the score. Arlington on top of Oak Ridge. Cy, a right-handed hitter. DeBerry with a 1-2 pitch. Bounces in front of the plate. Good stop by the catcher, keeping Richie at first. 2-2 the count.
Not a tremendous secondary lead over there from Richie because that ball was in the dirt. He wouldn't have been able to take second anyway. He would have been thrown out. Richie would have on that ball in the dirt. This catcher's pretty good.
Yeah, you get to this level, you're going to see, especially you got to have good catchers to be a good, solid team, I think. And this is a good, solid team for sure. 2-2 pitch is a fastball. Here comes the throw, and Richie is going to be out. Caught stealing, and the Wildcats' 3rd out. So Richie caught stealing. And that is the 3rd out in the 4th inning. We go to the 5th inning of this state tournament ball game live from Murfreesboro, Oakland High School, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Wildcats trail the Arlington Tigers out of West Tennessee 3-1. We'll be back in 90 seconds. So we go to the top of the 5th inning here at Oakland High School. Wildcats trailing 3-1 in this elimination ball game. There's a strike to the leadoff man.
This is Harrison Polina. Looks like he grounded out somewhere. Your handwriting. I don't know.
Where is it? That would be shortstop. There's strike 2. Count is no balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on, nobody out. 5th inning, 7. Actually, 3-1 the score. I was going to say there's 5 hits total between them. Arlington has 3. So far, none against Peyton Witter. And he strikes out that young man. And the count is now, well, I thought he struck him out. Thought that was strike 3. They're going to call a foul ball, and Parker says he did foul. He looks over to Coach Freed. He said, yep, he did it. Coach Freed was going to come out and argue, and obviously Parker being the honest young lad that he is, he told his dad, yeah, he fouled it, unfortunately. No balls and 2 strikes. You win friends with the umpire that way, I believe. Here's the 0-2 pitch. There it goes. Strike 3, swinging. Peyton once again comes in and shuts down an Arlington Tiger. And the batter now will step in.
This is Parker Peeler, the leadoff hitter. He's flown out to center field and then singled back in the 3rd inning. Has scored the 3rd run for Arlington. This is the top of the order.
As I mentioned, we have gone 10 months straight with broadcasts, starting with football, basketball, and baseball. 10 months. We're almost getting closer to June. That pitch just a little bit high to Peeler, right-handed hitter. And as you can see at the bottom, if you're watching on our streams, those advertisers at the bottom, the ones you see now are basketball people, but we've had some people step up in baseball season to help with our stream. Lynn Hart has sponsored 3 ball games. Jimmy Norman, attorney. Donnie Sharp with East Tennessee Spine and Sport. Jared Mullins with Mullins Construction Company. Warren East Grandparents sponsored one of our ball games. And I know once I started naming them off, I'd probably forget somebody. 2-1 pitch. That hit him. And with 1 out, they'll have a base runner. Peyton's now hit a couple guys. And they have a base runner, and they're at the top of their order. You got to be careful. These guys smacked the ball around in the 1st inning.
Yeah, they did. This would be Jack Hibbard. Hibbard, I think. Yeah, 0 for 2. Flew out to center field and popped out to first.
Peyton Witter is a left-handed throwing pitcher for the Wildcats. He's a junior. Checks the runner at first. Comes to the plate. Down low. Parker with another good block. 1 ball, no strikes to count. 1 out, 3-1. Peyton Witter trying to keep things right where they are. Give the Wildcat offense a chance. Looking at some dark clouds over towards the west as that pitch is outside. Peyton's kind of lost a little bit. Gets a little advice from the friendly fans to our right, clad in cardinal and gray. 2 balls and no strikes. Short lead at first. Camden Welch, the first baseman, holding him on. The lefty checks the runner. 2-0 pitch. Cut on and missed. With his move to the plate, the runner was bailing back to first.
Yeah, it looked like the runner was all the way standing back on the bag. I thought he was throwing over, but that was a good move to come to the plate.
From the stretch, at the belt, the pitch. Inside corner, maybe 2 inside. Count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Runner at first. 1 out here in the 5th inning. 3-1 Arlington. Wildcats playing toe-to-toe with some of the best in the state. Nolensville, and today beating Bradley, and now a 3-1 game. That pitch is on the inside corner. Full count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Arlington, one of the favorites to win this tournament. You'd have to say Farragut is the favorite. They're going for a 3-peat, but having looked at the teams here, Nolensville and Arlington, very capable teams, as are our Wildcats, of course, but a little bit younger team than some of the other teams involved in this tournament. But like Coach Free said, they're getting a taste what it's like and how hard it is to get here every year. We know, first time in 52 years. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch, cut on a miss. Strike him out, throw him out. No. Here's the throw down. It's a stolen base, and that is out number 2. I think Parker's getting tired, seriously. In the first of the year, I'm telling you, Parker nailed everybody. I mean, he threw lasers. But once you get to this stage, when you're a 14-year-old freshman and catching in his 2nd ball game of the day, he kind of threw that one a little bit high, and Alex caught it, but it's a stolen base. And is this the guy that's belted the ball all over the field? I'd be careful with him because he can rip it. Pitch stays up high, 1 ball and no strikes.
This is the catcher, Jack Pitts, flew out to center field and then doubled back in the 3rd inning. It says a fly ball on the book, but let me tell you, it was a Warren East gem. As there's a swing and a miss, and the count is 1-1. Wildcats, with a victory, will play again tomorrow, at least scheduled to play tomorrow. The loser ends their season. 1-1 pitch. Really nice looking pitch, and the count is 1-2. Wildcats down only 2 runs as we play. Mark Burton in the house. Good to see him. That's Mikey's uncle. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Pitch. Outside. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. I was sitting in the Nolensville stands during the game right before it. It's interesting how different fan bases react to different things. Boy, it's getting dark. 2-2 pitch, hit well. Way back to the fence, way over the fence. That is a home run. I told you didn't want to mess with this guy. The way he's hit the ball, the out was a fantastic play, and that's a 2-run shot, and the Wildcats now find themselves trailing 5-1, primarily because of this guy. That's the 4th RBI of the ball game for him. 4 of the 5 runs knocked in by this guy. I would have considered walking him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Pitts caught a fastball up in the zone off of Witter, and as soon as the ball was hit, I knew it was gone. Not a lot of wind here. I think the flag is stuck out in the trees, so that's a tough break for the Wildcats. They find themselves down 5-1. This is Carter McKay, the third baseman, who's 0 for 2.
Wildcats in a little deeper hole, obviously now. 5-1 the score. Pitches up high, a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. 2 outs here in the 5th. 2 runs in, a 2-run home run. 5-1 the score. Peyton's pitch looked pretty good. Called a ball. The count is 2 balls and no strikes.
It's getting really dark here, David. The weather's moving in from the northwest, so it's coming from Nashville.
Hopefully no lightning involved with that, but it is getting dark. Swings and he misses. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Got the volunteer scorekeepers trying to catch up. They do. Well, not quite right, but 2 balls, 1 strike. Pitch. That's up high, about shoulder level. And the count is 3-1. The scoreboard says 2-2, but the count is 3-1. Umpire verifies that. 3 balls, 1 strike. Payne steps off the rubber. Wildcats down 4 runs now against Arlington. Pitch. That's ball 4, and down to first he goes. Payton giving up his first hit, I think, as, oh boy, looking at the radar. I'm telling you, I don't know. I guess I don't know how long it's going to rain, but if it's, I don't know that we'll get a complete, well, we're in the 5th inning right now. And they do play 7, but what is ouch. Bashan, be nice. Hit by pitch, and they have got runners at first and second with 2 outs. And here comes, looks like Coach Maddox. Will Maddox is going to go out to talk. I think that's Coach Maddox, is out to talk to Peyton Witter, and that conversation takes place. They scored 2 in this inning. They scored 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 here in the 5th inning. The Wildcat lone run came in the 3rd inning. Just looking at that sky.
Jack Pitts, who you've been talking about, hit the ball well. Jack Pitts committed, like Eli DeBerry, to Memphis, and then Carter McKay, who was just hit by a pitch, also committed to Memphis. This Arlington team, they're a good team. I kind of thought they would maybe be, the favorite on this side of the bracket. But, Nolensville, I didn't see that game earlier today. Nolensville, they pitch well. And so, the Clouds are getting – we just look at the radar. It does not look good. And to my knowledge, in a state tournament ballgame, Oak Ridge is the home team. So, to me, I don't think they just call games in the middle of the 5th in state tournament games, but I could be wrong.
It's not raining yet, but it definitely is coming by the radar as that pitch is a called strike from Peyton Witter. Track will be tomorrow. Coach Gaddis was saying the weather is even worse for tomorrow. At least we're a little bit under cover. If it starts raining, we'll have to probably pull back on the table just a bit, but we are under the upper bleachers as that pitch is down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Wildcats knocked off Bradley Central in the first game today. Lost yesterday to Nolensville in the state tournament. The Wildcats down 5-1. They've got 2 on right now. Peyton's pitch is cut on and missed. Peyton's a good-looking pitcher. I don't know how much you've seen him pitch, but he's been very effective all year for us.
Yeah, Peyton, I think he came in relief in the Farragut game a couple weeks ago. I thought he threw well. I don't think he gave up a single hit or a run in like 2 and a third. Okay, I think it may have been Cy.
Yeah, he pitched in the Marable game and was on the mound when Oak Ridge won that third game.
Okay, yeah, I remember that, and he threw well. Every time I've seen him throw this year, whether it was in Kingsport, the region, or today, he's done well.
2 balls and 2 strikes, runners going. Pitch is strike 3. Wow. He's walking. The Wildcats are walking off the field. The umpire says it's strike 3, and that's the end of the inning, I do believe. Wow. From my vantage point, I'll be honest with you. Obviously, I am biased, but that pitch looked way inside, way high. But it is strike 3, and that's out number 3.
Yeah, I guess I had the count wrong. I had it 2-2, so Arlington looks confused. Clouds are continuing to get dark. I know my dad's listening. I don't know if he would know. We're headed to the bottom of the 5th inning here at Oakland, and I think to be, I guess, an official game at the high school level. Honestly, I don't even know, because high school, they just kind of end the game and just call it what it is. But this is a state tournament game. This is official. So I don't know how they're going to call this, because I don't know how much longer we're going to play.
Umbrellas are starting to come up. First sign of rain, obviously. We're on WIJV. We're on our YouTube channel, streaming the audio. Not allowed to do video. TSSAA owns all the rights, and they choose to to use them. We have had good turnout of fans. Dean and Tina, good to see you. Looks like they're getting undercover, maybe staying a little while. Tina, administrator, was an administrator at the high school. Once again, the coaches, the Arlingtonville team, still a little bit confused on that particular out call. You can't really pay attention to the scoreboard as the Wildcats, Cy Stevens, will lead things off in the bottom of the 5th inning in a 5-1 ball game. Down low a ball, 1 ball, no strikes to count. It is dark. I'm not even really looking forward now to the trip to the car, as it is so dark. That's a breaking pitch. That was outside, but I think the umpire sees the weather as well. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Cy Stevens, the batter, the pitch to him. That should be ball 3, but it's ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, I think, since we're in the 5th inning, if Oak Ridge still gets to hit, but once Oak Ridge hits, I think it's an official game.
2-1 pitch. Cut on and missed. Cy Stevens, well, 2-2 count. Nobody on, nobody out. Be unfortunate for a state tournament game to end in 5 innings. Pitch. Cut on and miss. Got a late hack at it, and that is out number 1 here in the 5th.
If I'm Oak Ridge here, if I'm Coach Free, I would slow down here. Call time, have a meeting, because, after 5, I think it's an official game. I could be wrong, but I would slow down here if I'm Oak Ridge.
Alex Franklin, the batter, and he takes the strike. So you've got 3 Division I guys that we've talked about on this Arlington team, and there might be more. 4 total. Nolensville had several as well. Ball's hit on the ground, shortstop, right behind the bag. Feels it, double clutches, but throws out Alex Franklin for out number 2 here in the 5th inning. It's a 5-1 game. Wildcats trailing the Arlington Tigers, and the last hope here in the 5th will be Warren East.
Picking up what I just said, I believe the rule is if you start an inning, then I think you have to finish. So I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the way it was in the game that we did at Sevier County. They were told that as the pitch to Warren is cut on and foul tipped into the mitt of the catcher. And the count is 0-1 to the freshman Warren East. Warren was a strikeout victim his first time. Swings and he misses at that one. And the count is 0-2. This is the state baseball tournament. We're at Oakland High School in Murfreesboro. Wildcats trailing Arlington out of West Tennessee, that is, near the Memphis area, 5-1. We broadcast on the radio and on our YouTube channel. That's strikeout, and he's going to have to throw him out. Warren's fast, and he hustles, but they throw him out, and Warren is out number 3. So we go to the top of the 6th inning here at Murfreesboro Oakland High School, and it's a good deal that they started this game early because we would be starting in the rain about now. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 90 seconds. Welcome back once again to Oakland High School. You talk about some nasty-looking skies. The wind is blowing hard. It's not really raining hard. There's people with umbrellas up. We have just moved back a little farther, but the wind and the sky is very, very threatening. And Lee Wexler, who actually lives in Middle Tennessee, can tell you about, and I don't know if tornadoes are involved in this weather pattern, but it sure looks ugly. And I saw just a few moments ago some people come out to talk to the umpires as we've got a pinch hitter in the ballgame now for the Arlington Tigers. It really, really looks bad as Wildcats' Peyton Witter throws a strike in his first offering, and the count is 0-1. Sean's going to continue to do camera. Lee's kind of moving some of our equipment back because we're about to get a deluge as that pitch is up high, and the count now is 1-1 strike. Moving farther and farther back to trying to avoid. We're under cover, but with the wind blowing the way it is, we're going to get soaked as the count is 1-2 strikes. Leadoff man here in the sixth inning. The Wildcats trailing at 5-1. Pitch cut on a miss, and that's a strikeout, and that is out number one here in the sixth inning. Some of the people heading towards the exits, others are undercover with us. Yesterday in the Nolensville game, we had seems like half the Nolensville fans undercover with us on a beautiful sunny day. They were avoiding the sun. Today, they're avoiding the wind as the wind swirls around the park. Pitches on the inside corner. The umpire is going to call anything close. So if you're a pitcher, if you can get it anywhere close to the strike zone, I'm assuming he's going to throw his right arm up as a strike. No balls, one strike, one out. Sixth inning. Pitch hit on the ground to the third baseman. Mikey Teasley Fields throws in time for out number two. So 2 up and 2 down for Peyton Witter. And who's up next?
It's the 9-hole hitter Harrison Polina. He's 0 for 2.
He steps in, bats from the right side. Wildcats are the home team. As the wind blows in, it's definitely gotten colder for sure. As Peyton has the sign from Parker Free. Here's the pitch. Hit in the air, foul. Out of play, and the count is 0-1. 5-1, Arlington on top of Oak Ridge as they play at the state tournament. The Wildcats' third game here in Murfreesboro yesterday, losing to Nolensville, who's in the winner's bracket of this bracket. And today beating Bradley Central in the first ball game, the early ball game today. And then trailing 5-1 in the final game of the day here in Oakland. Peyton comes to the plate. Ball is hit well to right field. Richie Ferreira in, can't make the play. A collision between the Wildcats' second baseman as the ball comes bouncing in. The Wildcats' Parker Free has a chance to throw him out. He will not as he slides in. The Wildcats kind of had a collision between the second baseman and the right fielder, and when the throw came in, it eluded the cutoff man, which allowed the base runner to advance down to second base, and they've got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
Yeah, this is the top of the order. Parker Peeler. Rain is beginning to fall. Wind is picked up. It's gotten colder. Parker Peeler is 1 for 2 with a flyout, a single, and a hit by pitch. He scored 2 runs.
Bashan and I are very familiar with rain. We were at Sevier County the other day and just got soaked in that ball game. 2 outs, top of the order. Peyton Witter trying to get that third out here in the sixth. This is the top of the sixth as the Wildcats are the home team. We pray not for a delay. We pray just to get through here. We actually would love to have about 5 runs for the Wildcats in the next inning, and Peyton just to hold them right here as that ball is hit foul. Back to the screen, and the count is 0-1. The good news is they did start this game early, and if they had started it when they originally had planned to, which would have been about 8 minutes, they would have been dealing with rain.
Good news for us is that we have a brick wall and a building blocking us from getting wet. So it's raining, but for now we are dry.
Ball is hit to center field. Oh, it's shortstop, Caden Black, who makes the catch. I thought it might get over Caden's head, but he makes the catch for out number 3. So we go to the bottom of the 6th inning here at Oakland High School. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge trailing 5-1. We appreciate you watching or listening to our audio broadcast on FM 92.7. We'll be back to Oakland High School in 90 seconds. Caden Black leads things off for the Wildcats here in the bottom of the 6th inning. We got a light rain falling now. Wind is kind of slack just a bit. Pitch to Caden. Oh, all the way back our way. It went all the way through the net and bounced off the brick wall and bounced back. A lot of velocity from the Memphis pitcher. 2 balls and 1 strike to Caden Black. Nobody on, nobody out. The Wildcats trailing 5-1. The pitch to Caden is foul tipped at the plate, and the count is 2-2.
With turf, they can play all day in the rain here. It's just not going to be fun. But with lightning, that's going to be what to look for, because if the umpires see lightning, they'll stop the game.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch to Black. Hit foul. Off to the left and out of play. Top of the order for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge needs 4 to tie. We're in the 6th inning of this 7-inning state tournament ball game here from Murfreesboro, Oakland High School. 3rd game for the Wildcats here at the state. Pitch to Caden. Ripped into right field. That's a base hit. High fastball, and Caden just ripped it, and the Wildcats have a base runner. Good start for the Wildcats.
Yeah, good start. Leadoff guy on. Oak Ridge has kind of had base runners with 2 outs, so they really needed something with nobody out. And this brings up Cam Welch as the rain continues to pour.
Cam knocked in the only run so far for the Wildcats in this one with a triple in his last at bat to the right center field gap. Rain blowing hard, coming in. A wild pitch. Caden stays put at first. You know this pitcher wants to get done here. And he says he slipped, but I think the ball just slipped out of his hand. I didn't see him slip on the mound. But, I mean, like you said, they can play in the rain. 1 ball, no strikes to Cam Welch. Now the umpires are going to call everybody in. And as the rain kind of slacks off a bit, maybe good strategy on the pitcher's part to have the ball slip. And I didn't actually see him slip. He's been kind of mobile around the mound. There's no lightning in the area, but they do pull the Arlington Tigers off the field. And everyone heads back to their respective dugouts. The wind is blowing hard, but I think the rain actually has slacked off a bit. So we're in a rain delay. I wish we had some rain delay programming, but we just do not, as the Wildcats trail at 5-1. I'm going to take a break here. I know I'm going to kind of figure out what we want to do here. I know the radio station probably is really hard to fill time, a long break like this. But we are in the 6th inning, and for whatever reason, they stop play for whatever reason, and it's 5-1. The Wildcats will have a runner at first. Let's take a break. Let's send it back to Brian Bennett. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Welcome back once again to Oakland High School, and during the break, for whatever reason, the umpires got together and said, you know what, why did we just pull both teams off the field? Now the umpires are talking with the 2 respective head coaches. The Wildcats trail 5-1. I think maybe the Arlington coach told the pitcher, slip, say you can't hold the ball. But let me tell you, and Vashon will tell you this for sure, it just poured down rain at Sevier County. It poured down rain at Central High School. It is raining, but not even close to the way it was at Sevier County. As the 2 teams have retaken the field, I just don't understand what the break was for. I honestly don't. But we're back on the field, and we got a 3-minute break in, and now we're playing baseball. Caden Black is a base runner at first. There's nobody out. The Wildcats are trailing 5-1. And it's barely raining. I don't understand at all why they took him off the field. As Cam Welch steps in, he's got a 1-ball, no-strike count on him.
Well, they took him off the field because Eli DeBerry, the pitcher, was complaining the ball was wet, and it just started raining really hard. So the umpires just kind of gathered and told him to get off the field for 2 minutes.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I'm telling you, if you could have been at Sevier County last week in the sectional, I mean, we got laptops can't get wet. 2 balls and no strikes. Even under cover, we're getting wet. Dr. Hawkins behind us, principal at Oak Ridge High School, along with some other fans watching the ball game from various teams. 2 balls and no strikes to Cam Welch. 5-1 the score. Arlington on top of Oak Ridge. Cam's a left-hander, had a triple his last time, knocked in a run. That pitch is up high. It's ball 3. Wildcats trying to mount a rally here. They're down 4. Still, as long as you have outs, you're still alive. Wildcats could use Cam to get on base. Let Mikey bat. He had a 3-run home run in the Bradley ball game earlier today. Pitch almost hit him. And that is ball 4. So the Wildcats will have runners at first and second now with nobody out.
Mikey Teasley up. I think the Arlington pitcher's having a rough time. It's been raining, and the Oak Ridge fans are kind of barking at him. He pointed towards the scoreboard. Now we're going to get a mound visit. Mikey Teasley getting his gloves on. DeBerry and the catcher just looking at the Oak Ridge dugout, laughing and pointing at the scoreboard. David, that's not good sportsmanship.
We didn't have that in the Bradley ball game, evidently. I didn't see much of that, but the players told me afterwards that's what they had to experience in the Bradley ball game. It is 5-1, but Mikey Teasley will step in. There's nobody out. Wildcats have to run the base as well. They cannot have any mistakes on the base paths. Nobody out, 2 on. Tying run in the on-deck circle. 5-1 our score. The batter is Mikey Teasley. Mikey had 4 RBIs in the Bradley ball game, including a 3-run home run. Pitch, breaking pitch, that's a nice one. In there for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. It's hardly even raining now. I just don't know why they took him off the field. You say that, Lee, but let me tell you, if you had been at the sectional, it wasn't even close to being as hard. It didn't rain for 10 minutes hard. 1-strike pitch, hit in the air. Foul territory coming back over the top of us. And out of play. And the count is 0-2 to Mikey Teasley.
Yeah, first and second, nobody out. Late in the game here, Oak Ridge running out of outs in their season. They're down by 4, so ducks on the pond right here. Really, you've got to capitalize this inning with runners on if you're Oak Ridge.
No balls and 2 strikes to the sophomore. DeBerry comes to the plate. Outside with it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oak Ridge fans are returning from the parking lot. It's just a really dark cloud that went over, and it's gotten a little brighter. It's definitely cooler. I mean, it is definitely cooled off here in Murfreesboro. Mikey Teasley back in. 1 ball, 2 strikes to him. DeBerry, the Memphis signee, comes in. Fastball foul. Just barely stayed alive. Catcher upset with himself that he didn't make the catch. Ball was down in the dirt. I don't know if he would have made it. And the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs. Nobody out here. I got confused. I was looking at water dripping around our equipment. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Teasley. Runners take their leads off of second and third to pitch. Mikey takes one high and outside, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Peyton Witter is on deck for the Wildcats. Opportunity for the Wildcats to get back in the ballgame, as Lee said a moment ago. They've got 2 on, nobody out. 5-1 Arlington. State tournament baseball here from Murfreesboro. Senior versus sophomore pitch. Outside, ball 3. Caden steals third, and the ball gets away, and the Wildcats score a run. Oak Ridge's Caden Black has come in to score run number 2. Down to second, Cam Welch, and it's 5-2.
Stolen base and the ball. I don't know if that hit Caden or not. Oak Ridge gets a much-needed run to get within 3. The ball just kind of bounced away from the third baseman for Arlington. 5-2 count. I thought, honestly, that was close to being a strike on Mikey, but it wasn't. Umpire called it a ball. 3-2 count, man on second, nobody out.
Mikey Teasley with a 3-ball, 2-strike count on him. Peyton Witter's on deck. Oak Ridge fans making a ton of noise, trying to encourage the Wildcat sophomore, batting with a 3-ball, 2-strike count on him. Oak Ridge stomping on the aluminum bleachers. Runner at second, the pitch. Breaking pitch, outside corner, called strike 3. Borderline pitch. Mikey's a pitcher. It was in the left-handed batter's box, but might have caught the corner. It was close. A beautiful pitch, honestly, by DeBerry. It might have been outside, but a tough take, and that is strikeout number 1 for Mikey. And number 2 for Mikey in this ballgame. The batter is Peyton Witter. 5-2 the score. Pitch to Peyton, hit in the air, right center field. The center fielder's not going to get it. It's going to roll to the wall. Camden Welch is going to get the green light. He's coming around third. Here comes the throw at the plate. He's safe. He's safe. He's safe. And it's 5-3. 5-3 our score. It is a double by Peyton Witter, and the Wildcats close the gap to 5-3.
That's exactly what needed to happen. And DeBerry, you got to wonder, kind of took a couple minutes off. And since he's come back, Oak Ridge has started to put the ball in play. He's been a little wild. Oak Ridge right now has the momentum. I think we're going to get a pinch runner here. So it's 5-3. I think my scoreboard's right. The rain has begun to stop. The wind has stopped here at Oakland High School. And who do we have up, David? I'm all discombobulated here. I'm sneezing. I'm not paying attention.
Parker Free. Parker Free is the batter. And now we're going to have a mound visit. Oak Ridge fans, you can hear them. They are loud. 5-3, Arlington on top of Oak Ridge. And let's see if they're going to take the ball away from DeBerry. He has been a little bit wild. I think he honestly was just deking, trying to get the game to stop when the rain started. He didn't slip on the mound. The ball slipped out of his hands, and that should not be a reason why you stop a ball game, because the ball cannot be gripped. If he's falling on the mound, that's one thing. If the ball slips out of his hand, it could do that with sweat. And I disagree with that. But then they took the two teams off, and then 5 minutes later they were back on the field. Long conversation. The umpire needs to go out. It looks like DeBerry's coming out of the ballgame. So DeBerry checks out, still catching it, and he points to the scoreboard. Wow, that's some sportsmanship from our West Tennessee brethren. He points to the scoreboard. It's 5-3, but the tying run is coming to the plate. You know, I am glad I go to a school that has a little more class than that. He came off the mound, and the Oak Ridge dugout, the Oak Ridge fans just yelling, and he points to the scoreboard as they bring a new pitcher in the ballgame. Let's take a quick timeout. Let's send it back to Brian Bennett. We're on WIJV. We're on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio, streaming audio. 5-3 our score. The Wildcats trailing Arlington here in the sixth inning. Back in 60 seconds. Welcome back once again to the state baseball tournament. The Wildcats have scored 2 runs here in the sixth inning. They now trail it by a score of 5-3. There's 1 out. Wildcats have a base runner. I thought it was a double, but I guess Peyton didn't make it to second as the ball was hit to the outfield. So it's going to be, now they're going to take them off the field, and that's perhaps is Thunder, and they are going to take him off the field for that reason. 5-3, the Wildcats have the tying run at the plate. And they didn't stop it this time because of rain, but they stopped it because of lightning. So we are live at Oakland High School. A little recap of our day earlier today. It'll be 30 minutes from now until we start again. Earlier today, the Wildcats took on let's take a break here. We'll fill a little bit more time. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. We are at the state baseball tournament, the Wildcats, in a 5-3 ball game trailing the Arlington Tigers. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. We'll be back to Murfreesboro following this 5-minute timeout.
Locally here, Murfreesboro is hosting private division. As the umpire's coming out on the field, that's a great sign, David.
Yeah, most definitely. Looks like we have a window to play, and hopefully we'll get these final 2 innings. And hopefully, if you're an Oak Ridge fan, the Wildcats will rally and win this ball game and move on to the second round. We're just moments away from the restart of this ball game. We really were cruising on along, and then the wind came in, the rain came in, and then obviously the lightning shut it down. The outfield conditions are absolutely horrible right now. I would hate to be one of the Wildcats or the Tigers outfielders, because right in center field there was basically a lake. I mean, it was a lake, and some of the volunteers went out and have squeegeed the field off the best they can. There's still a lot of standing water, but the TSSAA said they are going to do everything they can to finish this ball game, and hopefully they will. I mean, right now we've got a window. I look towards Nashville. It's got red sky to the, to the east. It's very dark. Wildcats are in their dugout, and here we go. We're about to start once again, and thank you for being patient. We're no longer on the radio. Just wouldn't have made sense to have a big gap like that, and so the umpires and the two coaches are meeting at the home plate area. We are in the 6th inning. The Wildcats have Izzy Mitchell running at first base. Parker Free is the batter. It's hard to remember even all the way back to what happened, to be honest with you. I know the Wildcats saw Peyton with an RBI hit, and he is the base runner at first base. Well, actually, Izzy is for him. Izzy with a little bit more speed than Peyton. Parker Free 0 for 1 in the ball game. He'll be followed by Richie Ferreira. Richie's been on base a lot today in the Bradley ball game, and in this one he was hit by a pitch and actually picked up a single as well. He's been really, honestly, the hottest hitter for the Wildcats in the postseason. Others have been kind of hit or miss, but Richie Ferreira has been the guy. Most definitely that has been kind of carrying the Wildcat offense through the district, the region, the sectional, and now here in the state tournament.
At least from what I have seen in the games I have helped you cover and broadcast, and as well as the games I've watched on YouTube. For me, Richie's kind of the guy I wasn't really expecting. Wasn't a guy I was familiar with, although I'm not really close to the team as you are. Richie's just continued to hit the ball well. I think he's been able to hit the ball really to all sides of the field. He drives the ball up the middle. He can pull the ball. He plays an all right field. He's made some good plays this spring. Probably needs to work on the base running. But, David, remind me what class is Richie?
He is a junior.
Okay, so he'll be back next year. And, I don't know how many – you might want to run over how many seniors on the team for me and as well as the audience. But there's a lot of young guys on this Oak Ridge team that are getting great experience. And it's been a long day. And Oak Ridge right now – I know it's been a long day. I know they've been cutting up and having fun as Arlington's taking the field. But Oak Ridge right now is playing for their life. They're down 2 runs, and they've only got 5 outs to work with. Oak Ridge is the visiting team. Excuse me. Oak Ridge is the home team.
Yeah, the Wildcats have about 8 or 9 seniors, of which only a few of them actually get a lot of playing time. As the new pitcher, and I've got his roster on my phone. The Arlington roster is Sean. We got a better signal. It's not perfect, but we are with it. We've just had some terrible weather. A 2-hour, 45-minute rain delay. We thought we were moving to another field. In fact, we went over and drove to the other field, but they obviously, they couldn't contact anybody to unlock the field over there.
So this will be the pitcher, Luke Miller. This was the guy they were warming up. Arlington was. They were warming this guy up right when the umpires called the teams off the field the second time, and what led into a 2-hour and about 45-minute delay. So the new pitcher is Luke Miller.
Good to see Winston Russell and his lovely wife Nancy at the ball game today. And Winston Russell all the way back in 8th grade. And he's in attendance. He stayed all the way through the rain delay. Parker Free is warming and walking towards the plate. The long throw down to second.
I was going to give a shout-out. We've been kind of working in our chat, typing chats up and reading everybody's chat. Chris Romanowski. Did I say that right? You would know.
Yeah, played baseball for Coach Tom Froning several years ago. Wildcats, Parker Free is going to step in. The Wildcats have Izzy Mitchell at first. The count is 2 balls and no strikes to Parker Free.
I don't think it. That's not what I have. I think it's because they were warming the pitcher up, so I think it's a fresh count.
Well, let's see. The umpire is back behind the plate. The Oak Ridge fans making some noise, and here we go. The ball game is about to resume after a long delay. On the scoreboard, it says 2 balls and no strikes to the freshman Parker Free. Izzy Mitchell takes his lead off of first. The wind, the pitch is a called strike. The Arlington fans making some noise in their dugout to the left. 1 out here in the 6th inning. Wildcats down 5-3. Parker Free, the freshman, Izzy takes his lead off of first. Been a long delay. Outfield is wet. The pitch to Parker hit in the air, foul off to the right side, and he is now behind in the count. I guess maybe they've actually quit keeping the count up on the scoreboard. So we'll just go with what the umpire says is 0-2. You were right here. Still dripping a little water. 0-2 the count to Parker. Richie Ferreira is on deck. There's 1 out here in the 6th. 2 runs in. The Wildcats trailing it 5-3. Parker calls a timeout. What's the pitcher's name again? I've already forgotten.
Luke Miller.
That's easy to remember. Luke Miller. Right-handed thrower. Parker Free is a right-handed hitting freshman. Behind you the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Throw it to first, and Izzy's back to the bag easily. Oak Ridge wearing their gray jerseys with cardinal numerals. The Tigers from Arlington, from West Tennessee, are wearing predominantly white with looks like blue. It's getting dark here, and we're kind of sitting in the dark. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Parker Free. Hit again, foul off to the right side and out of play. Oak Ridge track teams in action. Some of the track participants will start track tomorrow in the area. I guess that's at Middle Tennessee. No balls, 2 strikes. Parker Free. Back in, the pitch to him. Hit foul. Back our way, staying alive against Luke Miller. Richie Ferreira tries to track down the foul ball, as does number 33. He comes storming out of the dugout to give the foul ball to the umpire. It's been a long day for these 3 guys. It's been a long day for us as we started early with the Bradley ball game, which Oak Ridge won 8-3. First win in 52 years at the state tournament. 0-2 pitch to Parker Free. Hit foul again off the screen. Parker doing a great job staying alive.
Yeah, a lot of 0-2 fastballs that Parker's kind of fouling off. If I was Luke Miller, I'd mix in an off-speed pitch. I'd probably maybe bury it a little bit, not throw it for a strike if I'm the pitcher here. There's a guy for Arlington. The foul balls are being hit over here near the Oak Ridge on deck. So there's a guy for Arlington just sprinting over to try and take the little gamesmanship.
No balls, 2 strikes. Pitch, hit in the air to left center field. Left fielder splashing. Its ball is going to be caught by the center fielder. And the left fielder goes down. He was splashing water, and he lost the ball, and he's injured out in left field. Maybe that's a result of the playing conditions here on this field. He was splashing and splashing, and their coaching staff and trainers are going out to attend to him. The ball was caught. The ball was hit pretty well. Can't really tell. My depth perception is not great from here, but he wasn't able to get to it, but the center fielder came over and made the catch, and that's 2 outs here in the 6th.
I know you can't see. I don't know how well your vision is. I'm watching the coaches run out there. There is water just – they're stepping in puddles out there. The left fielder, I lost the ball from behind home plate. The left fielder immediately lost it. The center fielder made a great play running over. Is that who's hurt, the center fielder? He obviously slipped. There is so much water out there, and honestly – that right there tells you it's not safe to play. And so I know they want to get this game in, but that right there just he's okay, which is good. The coaches will come off the field. There's 2 outs now. That was a good at-bat by Parker. I know he got down 0-2, fouled off a couple pitches. Luke Miller kind of stayed with his fastball. Didn't really throw a lot of off-speed pitches. But as a former outfielder, I definitely wouldn't like that. And so if I'm any Oak Ridge outfielder, I'm kind of watching that, and you gotta be careful.
Here comes Richie Ferreira. He'll step in with 2 outs in a 5-3 ball game. Arlington on top of Oak Ridge. Obviously, if you're watching our YouTube stream, we cannot show the video. TSSAA want us and have told us that we're going to get this ball game in. That's why we're still here this late as Richie steps in. Richie's had a good day. He was hit by a pitch and was singled in the ball game. Had 2 hits in the first game in the win against Bradley Central. Luke Miller, the pitcher. Izzy Mitchell still at first, running for Peyton Witter, who knocked in a couple runs. The pitch is cut on and foul tipped at the plate, and the count is 0-1. On deck for Oak Ridge, looks like Carson Fagan perhaps has a bat. Yep, it's Carson. He's got a bat in the on-deck circle. He'll be hitting for Cy Stevens. He's had a kind of a rough day today on his birthday. 0-1 pitch to Richie Ferreira. That's ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Izzy Mitchell, the base runner, has not moved a muscle off of first base. 2 outs now here in the 6th inning, bottom of the 6th. Be eager to see who comes out pitching for the Wildcats as Richie steps back in. The pitch to him, hit foul off to the left side over the top of the Arlington dugout to our left, and it's out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike. Actually, 2 strikes. They're opposite on the scoreboard. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ferreira back in. Like I said, he's really been good for the Wildcats here in the postseason. Got family members all the way from California came to watch the Wildcats play in the state tournament. I know his grandmother's always listening, usually watching. Fortunately, we can't do the video today. Here's a thrower, and Izzy's back to the bag. Been a long day. It's been a long postseason for me, doing a lot of ball games. I've done more baseball games than I think I've ever done. Obviously, you get to this far in the season. Back in the day, I used to do every ball game, but never gone this far. Not in my lifetime. But really, only the second time Oak Ridge has ever gone this far to the state tournament. Another throw over, and Izzy's back to the bag. They're kind of aware because Free does like to run, especially with 2 outs, to try to create maybe a hole open up for Izzy. But you got to be careful. You don't want to take the bat out of the hands of Richie Ferreira, who's been hot. Pitch to him. That's up high, a ball. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike.
A little close to take. Fastball, a little up, maybe a little outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Man on first.
2-run game. The Wildcats trailing Arlington 5-3. Once again, Richie Ferreira, the batter. 2-strike pitch. Hit in the air. Foul territory, and it's out of play once again. Wildcats Parker Free and Richie. Richie has been hot. Parker fouled off several pitches. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 on. The Wildcats trailing 5-3. Sean back with us. Lee Wexler as well. My name is David Clary. Oak Ridge dugout and fans trying to encourage Richie. 2-2 pitch. That's ball 3. He's up high. Carson Fagan is on deck. Carson is another freshman, has played a lot of baseball for the Wildcats this season. He's one of that really phenomenal freshman class coming through the high school. Hasn't pitched in a while. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Richie's got to be alert with the strike zone. Izzy will be going on the pitch. There he goes. Cut on a miss. And Richie goes down swinging for out number 3. Good job of pitching by Luke Miller. Arlington, traditional baseball power, in the lead, 5-3. Wildcats, to look at some of the statistics here, I'll try to read them down, that what we've seen so far in this ball game. Caden Black walked, has a single, and has a double, and has scored 2 runs. Maybe that's just stolen base. He has 2 stolen bases in the game. Cam Welch has a triple and an RBI. He also walked and scored a run. Peyton Witter with a double and an RBI. Let's see, Parker Free, 0 for 2 in the ball game. Richie was hit by a pitch. has a single. Cy Stevens 0 for 2 in the ball game. Alex Franklin 0 for 2. And let's see, Warren East has yet to get on base either. Coming out to pitch for the Wildcats after a very long delay is Peyton Witter. He came in, I believe, in the third inning, or was it the second inning? I guess it was the fourth inning, or maybe in the third. It was the third. He's partial way in the third inning, and he's back out there after almost a 3-hour rain delay. But the lefty, you don't want to, if you hopefully you're going to rally to get some runs in the next inning, and you don't want to bring another pitcher in where you might have to play perhaps even extra innings and maybe even tomorrow. Of course, the forecast is not great at all for tomorrow. All the softball games were canceled tonight, and I guess, Lee, most of the baseball games got completed.
Well, I mean, I have no idea. I would assume so because I know from obviously personal experience that half these fields around here in Rutherford County don't hold water well. And so you would think, the turf fields. The only reason Oak Ridge is playing this game is because this is a turf infield. That's the only reason why. And so there's a couple other turf fields around here, but half the fields are turf, half aren't. So it'll be. I don't know what the schedule is. Well, I'll have to go back and look. You'll obviously do that. But what's important right now is Oak Ridge get 3 outs right here and get back in the dugout, and they'll have to hit a walk-off because it's the 7th inning. And so Oak Ridge is down to their last 3 outs, and so they're fighting for their lives. It's been a great season, but an opportunity to advance to the Final Four. Think about that.
Yeah, most definitely. They're already in the final 6, I think, right now. So, and the matter, who's stepping up for the Arlington Tigers?
So they are at the 2-3-4 hitters. This is Jack Hibbert. He is 0 for 3.
He is a right-handed hitter facing Peyton Witter. Let's check the infield as Camden Welch is the first baseman. Looks like Noah Wood. I believe that's Noah out at second. As the pitch comes in, it's a ball. Vashon it is Noah Wood at second base. Caden Black is the shortstop. The third baseman is Mikey Teasley. Left field, your guess is as good as mine. Pitch comes in. It's Carson Fagan out in left field. Warren East is in center and Richie's in right. Parker Free still behind the plate. Peyton pitching. Called a strike on the outside half of the plate, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Have you been impressed with the way Peyton can pitch?
I have. Every time I've watched him, he's been really good.
Ball's hit foul off to the right side and out of play. Over towards the Oak Ridge bullpen. Still just a lot of water to be drained off the outfield. It rained incredibly hard. We were kind of holed up, I guess, inside the concession stand. The water was coming in there, and I was squeegeeing it out. That was my exercise for the day. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the pitch. That's up high. One guy in this lineup I would not pitch to. I don't know. He's coming up soon.
Yeah, it's Jack Pitts, the guy who's on deck.
He has been really good for them. He has a two-run home run. Really, the big difference in the ball game right now is that home run he hit. He also knocked in other runs as well. He's been their guy. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Pitch. Hit well to right. Richie Ferreira there, though, and makes the catch for out number 1. Ball was hit pretty hard, but out.
Anytime there's a ball hit to the outfield right now, you're kind of having to hold your breath. And it's a little hard to see the ball because we saw with Arlington, the left fielder couldn't see the ball. Richie obviously saw the ball off the bat. There's 1 out, and this is Jack Pitts, who is 2 for 3. He's got a home run and a double.
He's tough. I was thinking the last time he batted that we should have walked him, but they know better than I. I'm just the lowly little radio guy, but yeah, he's tough. I mean, he looks like a ball player. Even that bleach blonde hair. Here's the pitch to him. A little high and inside. Count is 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah. Pitch. Cut on and foul tip. Good pitch there by Peyton. 1 out here in the 7th inning. 7 innings they play. We're not on FM 92.7 anymore. We're just on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. Timeout is asked for. Peyton has done this before. The Central ball game endured about a 2-hour rain delay and came right back and got the save. That pitch is outside. A little bit outside. Oak Ridge fans wanted it, but it was out. 3 balls and 1 strike. Parker free with the sign. Wildcats working quickly. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Cut on a miss. Nice pitch there by Peyton Witter, and we've got a full count.
Huge swings from the 3-hole and the catcher, Jack Pitts, and this guy is committed to the University of Memphis, so a really good ball player.
3 balls, 2 strikes. The sign, the pitch. Outside, ball 4. And down the first he goes. And here comes big burly guy stepping in for the Arlington Tigers, and they'll have a courtesy runner for him.
Yeah, we'll get a courtesy runner for the catcher. This is the third baseman, Carter McKay, another University of Memphis commit. Carter McKay is 0 for 2 with a flyout, a strikeout, and a walk.
You know, Memphis is chomping at the bit. If you've got a catcher that can hit as well, that's a luxury. Runner at first. Peyton comes to the plate. Lefty versus lefty. Ball hit opposite side, out of play, foul over the Oakland Patriots dugout in their field house to our left. That's where Arlington is resting in their dugout. The Wildcats are in the visitors' dugout, although Oak Ridge is the home team as Arlington bats here in the 7th inning. Wildcats season, best ever. I mean, honestly, most wins ever. Getting a chance to get to the state tournament. We have won the state tournament game before. As that pitch comes in there for a called strike, and Peyton's just on top of it. He's still throwing strikes.
Yeah, he is, and his, I think, most impressive pitch has been his curveball. He's throwing it for strikes, and to be able to take a 2-hour and 45-minute break and come back and pitch the way he's throwing, at least right now, that's pretty impressive.
No balls, 2 strikes, runner at first, 1 out. Peyton's pitch, hit in the air, very high to right field. Ritchie is under it, calls for it, makes the one-handed grab, and that is out number 2. That was, as they say, a major league pop-out.
That's some impressive stuff from Ritchie. I mean, that ball, and the sky isn't complete black yet, but it's kind of at that dusk. It's tough to see the ball once it gets out in the air, but Ritchie, he's out there, jumping through the puddles, trying to make the catch. This will be Brett Fowler, who is 0 for 1. He's been hit twice.
Runner still at first, 2 outs. Wildcats still have 3 outs to play with. As the runner is going, the pitch, and here's, oh boy, Parker. I hate to laugh, but it was funny. Parker, the runner went towards second. Parker threw it and hit the mound. And Peyton looked at him like, Parker, what are you doing? It is a stolen base, so they have a runner in scoring position. And a 1 ball, no strike count on the batter. Parker free behind the plate. Peyton Witter on the mound. Lefty versus righty. Don't want to let any more runs come in. That pitch is hit foul. Out of play to the left side. The count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, Oak Ridge has 7, 8, 9 due up, so you got to at least flip the order and have Caden and Cam get an at-bat. Oak Ridge obviously has to have 2 runs here, and this is a huge run. Arlington, 2 outs, runner at second. This is a huge run for Arlington because if they get that, that would be huge insurance for. That would be a huge insurance run for Arlington.
1 ball, 1 strike. Witter checks the runner at second. 1-1 pitch. High and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Most of the parent fans have stayed. The community people have kind of departed, except Coach Russell. Of course, he's part of our community. He and his wife Nancy still here. 2 balls and 1 strike. Peyton, pitch. Hit on the ground, first base. No, it's going to go into right field. Ritchie's going to field it and splashes in. Here comes the throw. He airmails it, and they've scored a run. He was playing shallow. He came running up and just splashed water, and it is now 6-3. And Arlington has an insurance run, and they've got a runner at second base. I think with a better throw, Ritchie probably gets him because it's in shallow right field, but he airmailed it over the top of Parker, and it is now 6-3, Arlington on top.
I thought Cam honestly probably had a play if he just would have taken another step. It was close, and so Ritchie, I mean, once that ball hit the ground, you saw the water splashing up. I knew Ritchie, that's going to be impossible. So, man at second, 6-3 Arlington.
Just makes it a little tougher for the Wildcats in the bottom of the 7th inning. I'll be the optimist here as the pitch is a called strike. He got the ground ball that he wanted, and it just found a hole. And good job of hitting for the Tiger. 6-3 our score. Wildcats trying to extend their season. Maybe arguably the best season ever in Oak Ridge history, as that pitch is high. If you go back to the 71 and 72 teams, they both went to the state tournament, and they didn't win as many games. But back in those days, you didn't play as many ball games as you do now. And this is the winningest team in Oak Ridge history. They won the district championship. They finished runner-up in the region, won their sectional series against Sevier County, and won a ball game at the state tournament with a very young team. Peyton trying to get this third out. That one's a called strike. And the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. I can tell you, I love baseball. I've been really had a good time calling it, but I'm getting about to my limit here in terms of energy and voice. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, the pitch. Hit off the end of the bat. Cam in foul territory makes a nice play for out number 3. Camden Welch makes the play on a dead sprint. And here we go. The Wildcats are down to their final 3 outs of the season unless they can rally here in the bottom of the 7th to beat this Arlington team. It is 6-3. Arlington lost earlier today to Nolensville in a 3-2 ball game against a team that's now in the championship game of this bracket, getting ready to see who wins this ball game to see who will play the champion of the other bracket for the state championship. And I know Farragut is the 2-time back-to-back champions, 12-time champions. They might be the favorite, but I think both of these two teams are very competitive, and especially with their pitching. Both teams have really good pitching. Just looking at Nolensville's pitching, and these guys can pitch as well. And I physically talked about their size, the guys here. I always talk about how big Farragut is. These guys we've played the last 2 days, Nolensville and Arlington, physically they are really well-built kids, and they look like ball players.
Yeah, they are. And, Arlington and Nolensville, although both those schools aren't too old, really. Arlington opened in 2004. Arlington's already won a state title in 2012, but both schools and areas play baseball really well. And, final inning here, final at bat for Oak Ridge. Hopefully they can get 3 runs to at least tie it. But I think, this is uncharted territory for Oak Ridge and the fans and you, David. You've never done broadcast this late. So I think, this has been great experience. But Oak Ridge, 7-8-9 due up right here. Got to get Caden Black up this inning.
It's going to be Carson Fagan pinch hitting for Cy Stevens in this one. He is a freshman, batting from the right side. Not a bad ball player at all. He's a sophomore player. Thank you, Fashawn. Appreciate that. Pitch, cut on a miss. High heat that time by Miller. I don't know why I keep calling him a freshman. He's a youngster. Either way, he's a young guy at sophomore. Might be a football player for the Wildcats, hopefully. Like to get some of these guys here, but as I've said, and I'm not saying this game is over by any stretch of the imagination, but the experience these guys have gotten this last 2 days has been invaluable for the next couple of years. That breaking pitch is a called strike, and Carson Fagan is down to his final strike.
Yeah, Jack Pitts, the catcher for Arlington, did a great job framing that pitch. I thought it was a little outside, but now Fagan's down 0-2.
Fagan, a right-handed hitter. Bats from the right side, deep in the box. 0-2 pitch. Can't take that pitch. That was right down the middle, and that is strike 3. So Carson goes down looking. He's a young guy. Hadn't had a whole lot of at-bats, and here comes Oak Ridge's Alex Franklin. Alex in this game is 0 for 2 in the ball game. We're down to 2 outs with Arlington on top by a score of 6-3 at the state tournament. Bottom of the 7th inning. Luke Miller trying to close it out for the Tigers. The pitch to Alex, hit in the air over the top of us, foul, and out of play. About 2.5 hours ago, I never would have dreamed we'd be right back here broadcasting this one, but it has stopped raining. The outfield is a mess. I mean, it is a mess, and it is dangerous, but they're playing it. The TSSAA was saying they were going to finish this game as that pitch comes inside. That might have been a good opportunity for Alex to take one in the shoulder, get on base. The Wildcats need some base runners. Warren East is on deck. He is a freshman. The wind, the pitch to Alex, cut on a miss. High heat once again. Arlington fans and team getting ready to celebrate. The Wildcats trying to rally here with One out here in the 7th inning. Two-strike pitch, hit foul again. Off to the right. First baseman gives it a look, but it's well out of play. Got a chance to see Dyron Birdwell today. He's the head coach at Oakland, former assistant coach at Oak Ridge High School, and educator at Robertsville Middle School. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But hopefully we'll get it. What happened for those of you watching on the stream? Oakland unplugged us, and they didn't mean to. They didn't mean to. They thought we were off the air. They didn't want to leave a window open. They didn't know we were off the air, so it's just a mistake. No, they're not. The lady came out and told me exactly what she did, and she apologized. And they're going to try to keep us as long as we possibly can. But I just can't stay on much longer here, as But I'll try to endure as long as I can as we wait for Coach Travis Free. Arlington has already gotten on their bus. They are gone. Of course, this team will never be back together again ever. I mean, that's one of the realities of sports. I mean, every team is different, and these guys are brothers. They've worked so hard. It's starting, they'll start right back. They'll play. Most of them will play summer ball, but then they'll be in the weight room. They'll play a little fall ball. They'll be working out. They'll be doing their, getting in shape, and they're together a lot. I mean, they've been to Alabama on a trip. They've been to Kingsport on a trip. They're here in Murfreesboro with the state tournament. They're together a lot. I mean, they probably see each other more than they see their families, as they still continue to get ready. Dr. Hawkins, the principal, is still out there consoling them, as well as Joe Gaddis. Been a long day. The good news is young team, lots of players coming back. Other news, the Wildcats have gotten over the hump of not winning a state tournament game in 52 years. They win a ball game today. They knocked off Bradley Central and eliminated him. The Wildcats are going to finish in the final 6 in the state of Tennessee. If anybody would have said that Oak Ridge was going to finish in the final 6 in the state before the season started, you'd say, well, Oak Ridge is not a baseball school. They've got a good team. They got some good players. Coach Free and his staff are a good staff, but they're not a baseball school. They are a baseball school now. They are a baseball school. We have proven that the last couple of years, winning district championship, making it to the region finals a year ago, falling to the eventual state champion Farragut Admirals. Farragut's probably going to win the state championship again on Friday. They've played some great competition, and I'm just waiting. And, coaches are doing a good job. The players, they don't want it to end, and that's why they're still out on the field. They, in their minds, and the fans and myself thought, this is a great opportunity, and it was. Played 3 ball games at the state tournament while, 80 other teams are sitting at home in our classification. Didn't make it this far. Didn't make it out of the district, but they made it to the state tournament. Like I said, I don't want to keep it going too much longer, but we do need to get out of here eventually, and I'm hoping Coach Free will come over for one last interview, as I don't see much movement. So as I see Dr. Hawkins, looks like they want to pose, looks like they're getting ready to maybe get in a picture, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I keep on talking here. I've done about as much talking as I possibly could do. And hopefully I've kind of given you some insight of what I'm seeing on the field. And here come the parents out on the field, maybe to come kind of pull them away, get them off the field. The parents have now joined them on the field, out in right field. Been a long day. I mean, we had a 2-hour, 45-minute rain delay. Arlington defeats Oak Ridge 6-3. Now the parents are involved, and I don't know if I can get Coach Free over here. This might go on for even longer than I thought, as all the fans now are moving on to the field of play. And I'm going to put the mic down for maybe 2 minutes or so, and if I don't see Coach Free moving this direction, I'm going to sign off. It's been a fun year for me. I've never done more baseball games than I've done this year, and I appreciate all of our sponsors who were part of our YouTube broadcast, especially in the postseason when we had to pay $250, then $300 to broadcast these ball games, and I appreciate all of them. And I appreciate all my helpers through TJ Hibben, Ethan Eubanks, of course, Brian Bennett today on the radio. Vashon Null's been with me for the last 2 years. I'm going to miss that big guy. He's been helping me for the last 2 years. Really become a really close friend of his, and I'll miss him greatly for sure, along with trying to think of anybody. Lee Wexler, obviously, tonight. Caleb Riker, James Branson helped me with a lot of the home ball games on the air. As you start naming off people, you're going to forget them because we've had a lot of games. Obviously, Alex Myers helped us out one ball game at Central, and just trying to think back all the way back, and I think that's it. And I see Coach Free is making his way towards me, and I will get that final interview with him as the parents and the players are still out on the field. And I know Coach Free's going to be disappointed. Like I said, he's going to be disappointed, but he cannot be upset or disappointed in terms of the effort that this team has given all season long, how far they have come along for him and the staff. One last hug with his son Parker, and that's a great embrace. Of course, Parker will be coming back, and they have a lot of baseball talk to go, those two guys, as I've waited as long as I could, and Coach Free is making his way over to me, the head coach of the Wildcats. It's a slow walk. No coach that I ever have interviewed enjoys this. The only ones I've ever spoken to after a win are Joe Gaddis after the 91 state championship win, and Coach Jill Pruden after the 1988, 1994, 1997 state championship wins. As Coach Travis Free comes here, Coach, I was just talking, and very emotional, obviously. Only one team is happy at the end of the year. I know you're disappointed you lost this ball game, but you've got to be very pleased with the way this season has gone.
Well, we are. I mean, obviously, it's one of the greatest baseball teams in Oak Ridge baseball history. I really, if not the greatest. I think we set the record for school for wins. I think we made it to the state tournament first time since '72. I mean, all the cool things that did happen. Yeah, so we're super excited about it, and it kind of paved the way. Like I was just telling them, 2024 kind of paved the way to kind of what we're going to be for the rest of for quite some time. I kind of feel like we've kind of broke through, and we're going to have some sustained success because we're going to have some players that are going to be around for a while, and now we know how to get here. We know what it looks like, what it feels like, all those things. So I do think that we're going to have a little bit of a run here.
Coach, the toughest thing that I watched just now is the seniors. I mean, not the guys necessarily that play all the time, like Caden, Alex, Kyron, the guys like Brooks right there. He's and Hayden and Lane, James, John Ulrich. I naming off names, and I don't want to forget anybody. Those guys have been the heart and soul, and you've talked about the Mount Cody's being so important to the team, but all those guys, and you'll miss them all. I mean, this team will never get back together, and that's the sad part about sports.
Yeah. We'll never be able to replace them, and we'll never be able to replace what they mean and how much they care about Oak Ridge sports and Oak Ridge baseball. That's what's so cool about it is just they love this more than the coaches, more than most players. They can't wait to be involved. They love it. So it's super exciting for them, and it's emotional just to think about. Like it really is. It's emotional for them for this whole experience.
Coach, I appreciate you coming and all the times we've had these interviews. And this is the most baseball games I've ever. I mean, years ago we used to do them on the radio, but this is the most I've ever covered. And the schedule worked out so perfectly for me to get a chance to watch the postseason run, and what a run it was. I've had a good time. I've enjoyed it. I love Oak Ridge baseball. I know you know that, and I wouldn't be here. But just your final comments on the season, and we'll let you go.
I mean, I just told them it's the most fun I've had coaching in 15 years. Like every day I couldn't wait to get to the field. They loved being there. They loved coming to the field. They loved being a part of it. They loved all pieces of it. So I hate to see them go because, once again, that's transforming and changing and recreating and doing a new culture shift and all the things. But, like, it has been a blessing and an honor to be the coach there, and it has been one of the coolest things to see. I'm sure your phone, everybody in Oak Ridge, man, is just so excited about the success that this team has had, and so much. There's a lot of buzz about baseball, which it'll help build and catapult our program even further along. So I'm thankful to be a part of Oak Ridge. I'm thankful that I get to be the head coach of this wonderful team and this organization. And now we put ourselves on the map that will probably be a contender that people talk about for years to come. So I'm so thankful for just to be the head coach here.
Coach, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
That's Travis Free.
Seriously.
Wildcats season comes to a close. Final score here from Murfreesboro Oakland High School. The Wildcats fall to Arlington 6-3. That does it for our broadcast here. Our next broadcast of Oak Ridge High School sports will be in August when the Wildcats take on the Jefferson County Patriots in football to start the 2024 season. For Lee Wexler, Vashawn Knowles, this is David Clary saying so long, everybody.